Hello everybody and welcome back. It is time once again. The ESFL is back. The Esports Fight League back in your life, back in your living room, back on your digital screen. 101 tonight, a start of a brand new season here in the ESFL. The best players in the world will be competing once again over the course of the next few months or so to claim the ever elusive and exclusive ESFL title. Tonight we have the Xbox guys on the line in a title eliminator matchup set to be fireworks, some hot new names coming through to, make a name for themselves across this new ESFL season. My name is Balian. Thank you for joining me, and I have two of the best men in the business with me tonight, Mr. Bruce Lee Rob and Mr. Ea Boxer. I'll go to you first. Rob, welcome first of all. How excited are you for a brand new season of the ESFL?
Oh, I'm extremely juiced. I can't wait to get this kicked off, and I'm so excited to see so much new talent coming up. These young, these younger kids coming into the ESFL and really getting an opportunity to show their skills and what they've been working on. And then we're going to see some veterans too down the line. Down the stretch of this card. I can't wait to be here with Boxer and Bailey. And it's good times.
All right, excellent. And you, Mr. Boxer, how are you feeling this evening, sir? New season.
Man.
I know you've been grinding away yourself, but big names tonight. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling real good. Excited for the day. Excited for the fights. Xbox card. Yeah, like you say, I've been grinding a little bit over there on the Xbox, and these guys are some killers. I see that we got a lot of the camps represented. And it's going to be fun to see camp versus camp. I'm excited about a lot of these matchups.
All right, indeedy. I'm getting a microphone audio problems. I will fix that, guys, shortly when I'm not trying to do something. Speaking of the camps and the fights here tonight, we will take a look at that fight card for you, the first one of the brand new season. There you have it in our main event, SlickColt, BlakeTylerr, and then the co-main Dino and Pablo. Rob, I'll let you break this down here while I try and just fix this problem.
Yeah, I mean, that co-main event right there is fireworks, chat. You got Dino MMA versus Pablo Grips. Both guys very, very talented in the striking realm, and I'm sure they've been training very hard on this 8.0 patch. And then you got the main event, SlickColt versus BlakeTylerr, for the title eliminator, I would assume there, Boxer. And how are you feeling on this new patch 8.0?
Yeah, man. I mean, this new patch definitely adds a lot more balance. It was a lot of things in terms of like the submissions that got taken care of that were a little bit too strong, made some a little bit stronger. A lot of some of the transitions that were a little bit too fast, they actually got slowed down. So this patch definitely has shifted the meta a little bit. Some things that worked in the past don't work now. So it's good. So we're going to see. This is actually the new season starting out on the new patch 8.0. So I'm excited to see how it plays out against the card here today.
Yeah, we should see. Sorry to interrupt there, Rob. I was going to say we should see a shifting in the general meta, a few changes as well. And also we saw a few of those things, towards the end of the UFC esports season as well. The introduction of those calf kicks, some of the changes to the stamina mechanics and systems really kind of to shift things a little bit to a slower pace and also, mix things up from the block breaking, boxing style that we have seen. It'll be interesting to see now people have had time with the patch, how many adaptations they have made, how many new gears they have put in there, the cogs of their game, Rob, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, we're going to see a lot, and it's always really a treat to watch these players because I always get to experience something that I really haven't seen before myself, and I get to learn and grow as a player. And I know a lot of people out there do the same thing, so it's always very, very fun for me to witness this stuff, Boxer. I know you always have a good time rewatching these events too.
Yeah, anytime you got these high level players fighting, it's more than just watching the fights for me. I'm actually looking at the meta. I'm looking at the tendencies that they're picking up on, because all of these things is going to translate into your game and how you're going to get better. So today we got 10 great fights ahead of us where each one of these guys, I faced them and they are high level on top of high level on top of high level, especially whenever you talk about people like Dino, Pablo Grips. These guys are at the top of the OWC, man. And to see these guys like face off in one of the best divisions, the featherweight division, it's going to be a blast today, man. Can't wait to get this started. Wow.
Yeah, man. Good. Good. Now we're all, relatively fired up. We have 10 fights on the card for you tonight. No best of threes, like we said, a start of a new season Xbox side of things this evening. You'd have the PlayStation guys showing up tomorrow night, but tonight it is the beginning. ESFL 101. It's official. The first fight is just about ready to go. We're going to jump straight into lightweight, which has seen some new additions, guys. Before we talk about the changes to the gameplay, we need to talk about the changes to the roster that we might see today. Charlie Olives getting a massive boost. Michael Chandler getting a massive boost, especially with that switch stance stat as well. So many little changes, some minor adjustments to Connor, buffing him down a little. Dustin Poirier, and this is just lightweight we're talking about right now. But before we say it, let's have a look. The first fight of the night is ready for you. It's going to be AG 2 Cuffed taking on Quiet.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And yeah, it's kind of weird not seeing Conor McGregor in that top fighters list. I'm still getting used to it. He's still there in featherweight. But yeah, look at Michael Chandler up there. Dustin Poirier boxer getting a huge increase in that accuracy and that head movement. It's an exciting time. And it's so exciting to see like the Twitter stuff with Max Holloway getting that chain. It's just a buzz right now in the UFC community that I'm very much liking.
Yeah. And like you said, just to piggyback, when these guys perform like they've been performing in real life, and then to have those changes be represented in the game, that's exciting. It's like live stat update. So like you said,
amazing.
Michael Chandler and some of the guys, man, it's great to see.
Yeah, it's great to see DC doing those little videos as well. They're very enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
When they said he was
They're
official,
so fun.
ratings are just, no, man. We got the game changers over here, but he's doing a great job of like being, informed about the game and the changes. It's really, really awesome to see. All right, everybody, first fight of ESFL 101. Right now, the brand new season begins tonight. A title eliminator at the end of the night, but these men are just looking to make a name for themselves. This evening, lightweight division, lovely touch. AG 2 Cuffed and Quiet in the blue gloves.
Here we go.
All right, yeah, these guys meeting in the center of the octagon right now. Let's see. You got the wrestler with Habib, but let's see if Volk can keep this thing standing. Volk is a balanced fighter, and look, they already shooting in for the takedown and a nice stuff there against the cage.
Yeah, beautiful job. Now in the clinch for Quiet, taking that back, and this is where he could jump on. Good denial there, keeping Khabib off of his back. Nice stuff by AG. Yeah,
AG's going to have a massive footwork advantage in this fight. See if he can use it. Nice double triple up on the hooks there. Really working that block, and there gets 3 hooks in and does stop the clinch attempt. Wasn't sure about that one. Just Quiet wading in here, really pushing forward, taking some damage on the block. Shoots low on the double. No adjustment from Cuffed. Looked like he thought there was a turn coming, and there wasn't, so blast straight through on the double. Now where he wants to be and postured up. Plenty of time to work on the clock as well, Boxer.
Yeah, I like how they was able to get this fight to the ground off of a combo, and whenever you have Habib Nurmagomedov on the ground, this is going to be a tough situation to get up. Right now, postured up here. Let's see, rain down some punches. Not yet. Tried to go to side control, gets that denied, and I like the control I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, Quiet doing a good job maintaining that half guard with Khabib. He's got all the perks and the stats to really hold this position, and this is going to be tough for AG. He needs to be patient and be careful. Another big deny, and now that grapple advantage with these elbows is going to get him a good position, and it does. Crucifix Bailey.
Oh, it's nasty, and Quiet was struggling a little on the feet, but this is clearly where they wanted to fight. AG, nice job bumping out of there, but straight back into it. Half stamina, looked like he power transitioned into that. If you're Cuffed, you've got to find a way out quick. Doesn't get it now, and more elbows coming from the crucifix position. Now you really got to think about what you're going to do. Do you time the bump or try and find an escape? There's another deny there going to the back set, and Quiet still hammering away with these elbows right now, not even rushing this one little bit. Still has a minute 30 to work and find a finish, and AG is a little bit in trouble here. This could be the end of the fight. I think it's going to be. Tries one more bump back to side saddle. Tries to hit side control, gets it, just got to watch it. There's the far side Kimura. 1 minute though on the clock. Still has time to get this.
Here we go. Yeah, with Habib right now in that Kimura, is he going to be able to get it? It looks like these guys are tied up right now. Submit versus escape. It is going to be, and he lets it go. And see, one thing that you see right here, this top control by Habib is a 98 with just a 91 bottom control from Volkanovski. So this is why you're able to see this nice control here by Quiet.
And a dominant round by Quiet. Another denial on that up flick. And now postured up, raining down bombs, blood splurting out, but a beautiful slip to alleviate some pressure. Back to feet they go.
Comes forward with a big 4-piece combo as well, trying to put the pressure on him. Fairly even on the stamina after that first round, but Quiet definitely securing that position he was looking for, making it work for him right there. And nasty side control display by Quiet in that the opening of season 1. Whew, good look out for that one. Gonna touch him up for season 2 though. Went for the far side Kimura towards the end, gave up on it, wanted to hit that crucifix for more damage, but second round starts on its feet. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to get that first round to Quiet, but let's see if Cuff can come back in the second round facing some adversity. He does not want to spend this much time on his back. Then let's see if he can change the tide on his feet right now.
All right, we have just lost Mr. Bruce Lee Rob. I'm not sure where he's gone.
All right.
But we'll see if he comes back. Hopefully he does. Cuff now floating around
back to his Bruce.
on the outside. Oh, looks like he's coming back. There we go. All right, good.
All right.
Didn't swap places today as well. That's nice. I don't have to move anybody after that. All right, we're good.
I don't know what happened there.
There we go. Quiet.
All right, yeah. It's
on the pressure.
Yeah, it seems like Cuff was ready for it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, he's doing a good job now of just keeping the distance a lot better between the two. Lead hook instead of the jab to follow. That stops Quiet from running in too close. But double leg takedowns out of range. We might have to switch to the single or find a better way to close another long takedown attempt. And the head kick bouncing off the block. No longer able to break straight through there. Like slight glitch.
Oh,
but
wow.
Down on the single. Nice.
Look at that. Cuff changing the game, and he wants to get some of the control right now. A nice transition block, raining down some huge elbows. 2 transition blocks, and then goes into the crucifix himself. Can he maintain this position? Rocking the boat there by Quiet, but look at there. Cuff still raining down some elbows. There's some high-level stuff on the ground we're seeing, Rob.
Oh, man.
Most definitely, and it feels good to get a little payback. Nice denied there. North-south, slides right back into side control and has a lot of room to work. 2 minutes, has some grapple disadvantage, though, and, you know, the AG's able to use that.
Yeah, and I love it from Cuff getting some revenge, you know, takes him straight back to the mat. Great place to put your opponent, especially if you feel grappling is inevitable. You want to be the one to initiate, gets a full guard sweep though, and gets the half guard bump off to the side. Cuff should probably have thought that was coming at least initially there, but doesn't make a read on it. Quiet gets the sweep, 1 minute 35 to work from this top position here, and this is bad now for Cuff, exactly where he was in that first round. It depends how much damage he takes, but oh, good job stocking the side control that time.
All right, yeah. Now, one thing I want to see from Cuff is he's facing some adversity. He can't spend all of this time on his back, but right now he is in a bad situation with Cuff, with Quiet on top of him, with Habib Nurmagomedov raining down some punches. I think Quiet, he definitely is controlling again here in the second round, man. This is not looking too good for Cuff at the moment, for Quiet at the moment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it looks like that first round. Yeah. And then there, finally, good job. Nice little scramble. AG on top now in side control, gets a nice deny on that left side. Has a grapple advantage, can do some work here. Good job.
Cuff is he's no slouch on the ground, Cuff. He is holding his own in every way against Quiet, even after that onslaught. I mean, if he was a little bit worse on the ground, he probably wouldn't be in here for the second round. And in that second round, he took it to him and got that beautiful sweep from the underhook there. From half guard out to the backside sit. It was really nice work. So well timed on that one. I mean, that's kind of a high level, risky thing to do against some of these top players. Go for that underhook dig, but made it work, got it off, and wow, ends up on top at the end of that round. Much more competitive second round.
Yeah, they could be going 1-1 here going into the third. You do not want to leave it in the hands of the judges. As we've seen before, it can go either way. So if I'm either one of these fighters, I'm looking to get the finish or at least control this round. So let's see who gets the first takedown here. Oh, look at that. Cuff is landing some huge things.
Oh,
uppercut lands. Big shots for AG.
Beautiful.
Quite on the ground, and AG decides to pounce like a lion.
That's it.
Big shots, and it's over.
What a way to make a statement right there. Start of the third, came forward with a 1-2-3. Rocked him, did not let him off. Followed up with a rear uppercut. Dropped him and just unloaded the ground and pound to finish. AG got to be happy with that one, especially after that, you know, dangerous first round. Managed to stay in there, take the best of what Quiet had, and made it work. There's a big left hook into the lead hook there as well. Uppercut trying to follow, but he'd already been dropped, dived on top, and that just good solid ground and pound with Volkanovski. Not only is that high level and damaging, but you have a lot of stamina when you're on the ground unloading, and it was enough to get that fight finished.
Yeah, one thing that I saw going in at the end of that second round, when Cuffed actually drained a lot of that stamina and then was able to get that knee on belly, landed some damage in that at the end of that second round, and then came out in the third round with the pedal to the metal and was able to get that finish. And whenever you get knocked down and somebody jumps into your guard, you have to be ready to make those reads. Are you going to post? Are you going to move your head? And just didn't happen for Quiet there. And a big night for Cuff. I know he has to be feeling good, Bruce.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. AG Cuffed went out there and got, taken down by a dangerous Quiet with Khabib Nurmagomedov. I mean, that's scary. Put in the crucifix position and managed to survive. Ate some bloody elbows in that first round, and then that second round kind of fought his way back, and then in third round just let those hands, those hooks fly like eagles and just drop bombs at him. Yes, sir. And that's a huge win. Both guys making their debut, and we're definitely looking out for Cuffed. 1-0 now. Beautiful work.
Yeah, I really, really impressive. Stay composed after that first round. Stayed in there as well with all that ground and pound damage. I mean, the amount of times we've been in these positions, I'm sure, anyone at home as well, you're in a crucifix position against a Khabib player. He denies, 4, 5, 6 attempts to get out of that position, and then you've got to find it within you to come up with a new route to escape that position, which he did. Hung in there and defended the Kimura long enough to keep himself in it. And then, just made his way slowly back in the second, took the initiative, got the takedown, and then work. Start of the third, just came at him like a firework and exploded all over his face, as they say. So,
Bloom!
There we are. All right. There we are. I'm using the analogies tonight. It's the start of a new season.
There you go.
Great beginning to the season there as well. So for anyone who is joining us here tonight, if you have just arrived, which some of you may have done, as many people tend to sort of show up halfway through these, we're just getting going. It is the start of the new ESFL season for UFC 4, the second season. On UFC 4, we had our first season post-launch. Now, into 2021, we have Season 2 coming up for you right now. Xbox tonight, PlayStation tomorrow. Take a look at the fight card. If you missed it, everybody, there we are. SlickColt taking on BlakeTylerr in the main event. This is a title eliminator match to help determine who will be taking the spot in the first title fight, should we say. Dino also fighting Pablo Grips tonight. Great fight there. We've got TH4 recognized, trying to make a name for himself this season, as well as Has Boys on the card. Another of the ICB boys back here again. Another T4H camp member, Buckflare, taking on another, ICB member in Clover. And then we've got a bunch of new up-and-comers scattered around the card. Guinness, Dirty Dave, Honest Jim. Sound like characters from Fallout, really, if I'm honest. But, it still sounds good to me. Crazy Dragons taking on Lemus. Can't look out for that one. That's going to be an insane fight. So lots of newcomers, lots of people just ready to show what they've got and what they can bring to the table for this new ESFL season. Next fight is the Above All and Dirty Dave. Rob, have you got any info on these two new competitors here?
These guys are both making their ESFL debut tonight. So all I got on Dirty, yes, sir. So the jitters may be there, under the bright lights, under the ESFL banner, in that octagon. Dirty Dave, technical striker, strong wrestling, and then Ryan, good top game, balanced fighter. So, we'll see what these guys bring to the table here.
All right.
Yeah, both of these guys, if these fights stick here, like you said, they're definitely going to be dealing with those ESFL jitters, because it is no joke when you're on the main stage, you're starting out with season 2 and everyone's watching. Now, one thing, if they stick with these two fighters, this is always an interesting matchup, because you got GSP, which has so great top control of a 98. But then if you have Tony Ferguson, and if you get into that guard of Tony Ferguson with that fast rubber guard and able to get all of those sweeps and the submissions, you have to be careful. So if this fight goes to the ground with GSP on top, this could be the ultimate counter pick if they stick to these.
Yeah, I think it's a good little matchup. Let's see if these two lock it in. We don't see GSP anywhere near as much as we saw him in UFC 3. UFC 3 really felt like you could strike
a
lot more with GSP. Now we see him predominantly as a grappler, but still has the striking acumen to compete, especially against someone like Tony, whose main striking weapon is that variety, as well as that cardio more than anything. So I think he's got a good chance on the feet you know, Dave, with the GSP pick. Like you said, though, the ground game is where it's probably going to be decided who can dictate the pace there, who can try and get the fight there if they want it there, or just who comes out with what on their feet. I'm liking it. Second fight of the night. Respect being shown in the beginning. These two boys making their debut here tonight.
All right, come out with the kicks going to the body. Ooh. And a huge lead head kick there coming out by Dave.
Ooh.
Backing up, showing a lot of poise right now, both of these guys, for their debut, Rob.
Yeah, showing some patience, not rushing anything, just seeing what their opponent is going to do, maybe picking up some tendencies. And the above fall 420, I guess we're going to call him Ryan, huh?
yeah. Good with it.
Sounds right to me. There's a nice another lead leg push kick. Bubble's gone to that twice now. Now pressuring towards the cage. Trying to keep Dirty Dave on that back foot. He's going to have a hard time this time jabbing into the body shot, but dive deep on the double leg. Didn't try and pressure to finish it. Now Dave got him up against the cage here. One knee back to the backpack here. Let's see if he drags. Nice back lateral. Almost like a lateral drop that from the back. It's beautiful and very hard to defend and even harder to execute. You know, some people here left trigger, which is a part of the takedown there. Not many people know that either, but great job. Top position where he wants to be. 3 minutes to work.
Yeah, and this is what we said. GSP on top, Tony Ferguson on the bottom. This is exactly what we want to see. A lot of high-level stuff. You never know how your opponent is going to take you down, whether he's going to backpack you or he's going to take you down, drag you down. Look at this. Huge bombs landing right now for GSP, having the early advantage on the ground, Rob.
Yes, sir. Already establishing his game plan. Again, full mount, dropping heavy bombs. Whoa, he's hurt. Ryan in some trouble right now, just holding that R2 button for dear life right now. And, you know, he's got to get out of here, baby.
Yeah, another riposte drop by Dirty Dave, mixing up the hooks and the straight punches nicely. Good framework there by Ryan, trying to hold on to it, but a great deny there. And right back up to this position. Going to go for the arm, give up position. See if he can lock it in. I believe the sub defense on Tony Ferg is quite high. And he's going to have to find a way to lock this in and track him down a little bit more. Gives up on it. Wise move there to bail on that. Straight back to the full mount ground and pound.
And look at it. Yeah. Look how aggressive here Dave is. He's going for it. He wants it and he got it.
Goodness.
Dave with his ESFL debut coming out, throwing some heavy hands with GSP.
Easy.
Wow.
Made it look so easy.
Woo.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more mounting going on now, especially that there are... I know there was a patch spoiler that you could deny those half-guard transitions or escapes from full mount. I don't know if that actually got put into the game because it wasn't on the official patch notes, but it was a patch spoiler that it would be there, perhaps in a later tuner patch. But the point is, I think mount now is a bit of a stronger position. When the game first dropped, a lot of players, if they were good, you couldn't even posture up from full mount on them because they could read that posture up so well. Now there's two directions to go in. Now you can cancel submissions from the top so you can threaten in other ways. I think we might see a few more people adopting that full mount position and trying to finish the fight from there.
Yeah, I think you called it right. Yeah, it's patch spoiler if it's in the game or not. But it's the transition tail going from mount to half guard if you're the submissive fighter on the bottom. And if you can have, and if it's a little bit of a tail now, these top fighters, that's all they need to do to get a transition denial. So like you said, Bailey, and that full mount position may be a lot more valuable here. And it really worked out here for Dave. Got a transition blocks and raining down the huge bombs to get the win.
Yeah, he went with 3 down the pipe straights to start off that ground and pound, and that's pretty bold. Just boom, boom, boom. And when you land 3 of those, then it opens up everything. You know, usually you need to slip that first one. It could really result in a nice scramble. But Ryan just kind of froze there, and Dirty Dave took advantage. And yeah, it's so nice to see that full mount position being sought after more in the competitive scene, because before it was more like the half guard or the side control was the premier position, but now the full mount becoming one of the nasty positions, like Bailey and Boxer said, a lot more utilities there and ability to do a lot of cool stuff. So the game is slowly evolving, and we're seeing it right now in the ESFL. What a win for Dirty Dave. Big bombs, man. What a dub.
Big bombs indeed. Yeah, it's such a safe position full mount as well. And now that there's that increase to stamina cost on transitions, that's a 50% increase. If you take full mount, the worst that can happen is they have to move back to half guard to get out of it. at least you're forcing them to transition, which is going to cost your opponent stamina. And then you're still in a dominant position and can just, reinitiate the full mount or work your ground and pound from there. So, yeah, we may see it a little bit more. Maybe not. I don't know, but nonetheless, a good finish right there. So I believe these guys are getting up ready for the next fight. We do have the debut of Guinness, who I believe was undefeated in the IXC, another promotion, and he's taking on Canyo, who is a ESFL veteran of the last season as well. So these two, look out for this new Guinness play. I think it's I don't know if someone's falling in on late notice. No, I think they just have different names. Interesting. Right. Okay. This is, I don't know.
All right. So Guinness Slim Ball?
No, I believe Slim Ball is Canyo, because he has the same logo in his Twitch as he does in game. So that little logo there says Canyo, that little blue controller. So Slim Ball, I believe, is Canyo. So proper Stee is Guinness.
That's gonna make things a little tricky, but I think we can do this. But yeah, anytime you have someone that's an 8-0 champion from another affiliate league, it's always exciting to see how they'll do over here in the ESFL. He's going against the ranked number 25 last season, Canyo. So we'll really see, what kind of game he's gonna bring here, Boxer.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, like you said, anytime you go through those other leagues, I really like how the ESFL is evolving because now you have to go through some of these other affiliate leagues, and it's some killers in those leagues, and you have to come and shine on that little small stage before you get here. And when you get here, you got the light shining the brightest here, and now these guys have to show up right now, today, at this very moment, and it's tough to have your best game right now. And what I see, this is a very good matchup. We got two strikers, Tyron Woodley versus George Masvidal. I expect a stand-up just slobber knocker. But if you're Tyron Woodley, you have to watch out for that stamina, because we all know Tyron Woodley is a little weak in that department. So you got to watch out for throwing the rear strikes with Tyron Woodley.
I do love the pick, though. It's very, very good, especially with the shift towards the leg kicks as a big weapon in his arsenal. But I'm interested to see how Guinness does here with the Jorge Masvidal pick. Like you said, 8-0 in the IXC. We have players like Zayaf, who was an undefeated champion in the UFL before he came to the ESFL. And look where he is now. He's main eventing tomorrow night. So maybe this is another prodigy in the making. Time will tell. We have Guinness in the red gloves and Canyo in the blue. Nice. Fluid.
And they're coming out, and they're not leaving nothing on the table here. I see right now Guinness is really pushing the pressure. Tyron Woodley against the cage. A nice whiff, and this is what you want to do. And look, we already see what he wants to do. He's kind of showing his cards there, going in for the takedown here with Canyo.
Oof.
Most definitely. And already we see Guinness kind of taking that octagon control, pushing. Canyo, watch out for that uppercut, though, man. Goes for that takedown. Good takedown defense already being established by Guinness, though, early in this fight.
Yeah, Slim Ball not doing a great job of setting him up. He's definitely just walking forward and just trying to off-time them, not setting them up with strikes or head movement. That would definitely benefit him. There's a nice straight right down the middle, but Guinness is doing a good job with that straight right as well, interrupting those big hooks that Slim Ball Canyo is trying to fire down the middle. But there's a nice switch kick off the back. Got to be careful with that pull counters there. Oh, man, he's just throwing here. And there's that single. Should complete that. No. Wow. Didn't get that one either. Okay. Oh, he's flexing on him. Oh, dear. Maybe a little too complicated.
Right now, Guinness does look, he looks strong, but he has to watch that stamina. And then you see Canyo going to that body. He is very cognizant. This is a 3-round fight, and we're just in round 1. Nice elbow there. So we may see a turn of the tide here in a little bit.
Yeah, we might. That's a great point, because Guinness is really throwing heavy here, and he's throwing when his short-term stamina is low, which is going to further gas out his long-term stamina. You see those bars at the top, so watch out. Boxer, great read there.
Yeah, don't sleep on the power of Tyron Woodley either. He doesn't need to connect as much as you do, because he hits harder, although Jorge does have a lot of power, but Tyron's got a lot of high-level striking techniques, which add extra power. Nice uppercut there on the break. Nice pivot, though. That's just been patched.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that power of Tyron Woodley in both the hands and the feet. And then Tyron is good on the top control, so Guinness has to watch out for the takedown. And he has to watch out for his a huge overhand there by Canyo coming out.
Didn't do that much damage, though.
Yeah, he's got to be. Guinness is really letting it hang here, and he's taking some big shots by Tyron Woodley, giving Tyron Woodley the advantage. And man, this is going to be very interesting in round number 2. These guys are winging punches at each other.
Yeah, Guinness seems very opportunistic, and he does almost what Jorge does in real life, and he'll throw the first combo and then try and catch you when he's not sleeping at the end of the next one. But now he's being backed up to the cage, doing a lot worse in these situations. No block left. Canyo just sat him down with another big overhand, and this is not where you want to be if you're Guinness in the first round.
Yeah, and we could see this coming from a mile away. Anytime you burn out on that stamina, watch out for that comeback, and that's what we see. Canyo is huge. Right there.
Nice.
Man, it's the comeback right here.
Man, what a beautiful decision. A 1-2 uppercut. He ducks into it. Guinness has his block up. Thank goodness it saves him there, but holy moly. I mean, we see him. That's what we're talking about with the jitters, Boxer and Bailey, is he kind of blew himself out in that first round. Came out way too strong, in my opinion, and now round number 2 with the stamina disadvantage, it's going to be very tough.
Flexed on him.
He does have that recharger perk, though, boys. He's going to recover some health.
Gave it the old Stockton flex, which is probably not the best idea either.
True. Got a little cocky early.
Yeah, all of that flexing looks good, but it does not win you the match, and you're going to have to back it up if you're going to flex like that against a strong Canyo. So let's see what happens coming out here in round 2. No touch of the gloves, getting right to work.
I was about to say, he did a really good job in the opening of range management, but he walked straight into elbow range, which is definitely not where he wants to be. He should get back on the outside in that jab. That switch kick to the body was working real nice, and the slip straight was working nice for him too, but he keeps exchanging on the inside, and that's what's costing him with the powerful hooks of Tyron Woodley right here. And again, he's still planting feet right there and trying to trade back when he's less on stamina and head health. It's not the most advisable thing to do.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and he's going to that body, but then finally got his head movement to work for himself. Guinness now applying the poison. Huge knockdown there by Guinness.
Man, he's going balls to the wall right now, just unloading. Big uppercut response though from Woodley again. That 1-2 lead uppercut, and now trying to finish it. Slime ball, the big right hand, bang.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, listen, you talked about it at the start, Boxer. There's some ESFL jitters going on right there, man. You know, a bit too excited when he got him hurt the first time and the second time as well. Just burnt the stamina out trying to chase the finish right there. And Canyo just banged him with the uppercut and put him away. It was all too easy for him there. So maybe a little bit of those jitters playing in the factor, just not able to stay composed when you're in that position to win the fight.
So, yeah, one thing that I saw here, the meta has always been for such a long time 1-2 head kick to finish off your opponent, and so people are used to ducking after you see that 1-2 head kick. But since that meta has changed, now when you know people are going to duck, you want to throw that uppercut. All right, so you're like countering the counter, and that happened twice in that match. I maybe thought it would be an adjustment by Guinness. Maybe he didn't duck the second time, but yeah, that was a nice call by Canyo. 1-2 uppercut and got the finish. Man, great job.
Yeah, beautiful performance by Canyo. Really had to fight against a hot prospect there, 8-0. But we see what happens when these 8-0 guys come into the ESFL. It's a totally different ball game, and Guinness really blew his load in that first round and really made a huge investment with stamina and didn't get enough of his return. He took a lot of damage. He put himself in a bad position with a stamina disadvantage in round number 2. And then we saw just Canyo start picking his shots and throwing some beautiful 1-2 uppercuts like Boxer mentioned, and just got a vicious KO and a big W over a hot prospect. Good job by Canyo, Balian.
Yes, but I think at the same time, as much as we want to talk about what Guinness did wrong, and he did make a few mistakes, you got to remember this is his ESFL debut. We have seen people who have done very well in other affiliate leagues come to the ESFL and, like you said, lose, but that doesn't mean he can't improve. That doesn't mean he can't make changes. He did show some flashes of brilliance, some very slick and smooth striking. Just needs to limit those double faults, as they call them in tennis, those unforced errors where you make a mistake which gives your opponent an opportunity. So if he can round those things out of his game, maybe we can see him come back and perform a little better. But there we go. So from Dave, sorry, I was doing my segue. Do you want to carry on?
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, Bailey, and I want to say, yeah, I lost my first fight in the ESFL. So if you're Guinness, yeah, you definitely had time to improve, to come back, and make yourself better. That this is just the start. So yeah, both great job to both of those guys tonight. Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh yeah, there we go.
All right. Yep.
That's all right. So I can't do the same one now because it's okay. Anyway, from debuting prospects now to a veteran of the sport taking on another debuter, but this time a real vet. Mr. Lemus Khan is back once again after a fantastic performance in the inaugural seasonal tournament for the ESFL last season. Did a fantastic job with that beautiful leg kicking, head hitting style of his that was drew a lot of fan favorites. Back here tonight, compete again in season 2 on the 4th fight of the night, but taking on another prospect, I believe, in ICB Dragon, Rob, right?
Yes, sir. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I mean, Papa Lemur is a legend, Bailey, and we all seen him fight in the E-League pro leg kicker. I mean, he snatches people's legs and he really throws vicious combinations and unloads in the early rounds, and we're going to see how Dragon is going to deal with that, boxer. I don't know. What do you think about this one?
Oh man, anytime you see ICB Dragon in cold blood, that's the name of their camp, man. You know it's going to be some guys that are very balanced in both the stand up and in the ground. And then with Morales, you have to watch out for his leg kicks. And with Jose Aldo, very balanced fighter, not great in the takedown or the top control. So you may want to take Aldo to the ground. But anytime you're talking about Papa Lemur, this is an ESFL veteran, and you have a heavy load on your hands.
These boys should not be in the Apex, but I don't think you get a strike for that. I think that's okay, but no problem. Lemus Khan on Jose Aldo. You know the leg kicks are coming. It's also 5 rounds, so I don't know who set this one up.
Oh dear.
If this is a debut for ICB, then he's in a bit of trouble for this one. We do give out strikes for that. But you know what? Let's just see what happens, I guess. I think they're going to bang. I'll let the boys in the back handle it. Nice spinning wheel kick right there. Straight on the pressure against Lemus Khan. But there's a pull counter uppercut. 1-2. Straight lead hook. One more time for Lemus. Right back. And the inside leg kick back on those kicks.
Yeah, I see him coming out early again. Looks like the stamina advantage is about the same right here. Both of these guys still feeling each other out. But I see right now the leg kicks is going to be a big part of this matchup.
Yeah, and Lemus Khan does such a good job at throwing that lead kick and then throwing that rear kick in combination. He just mixes it up so well and really takes the life out of those legs. Good stuff so far.
It's good to note as well, you know, Jose Aldo doesn't have high-level calf kicks. He has high-level leg kicks, and that's what Lima's doing. He's holding the button, not just tapping it, which is why he's getting the actual Thai-style leg kick out instead of the calf kick, which we've all seen people use now. Nice jumping switch front kick, though. And there again with the wheel kick, ICB's Dragon really trying to put the pressure on Lemus, and that is one way to deal with the leg kicking pressure, but covering a lot of distance with that front kick, that crane kick almost. Lemus got that nice pick on us last time.
Yeah, Aldo 96 in the power and the speed of those kicks, so you definitely want to pay attention to him because a 96 power and speed will chop away at your legs quick.
Yeah, it definitely will. And man, ICB Dragon is really doing a lot of work with these power kicks, these crane kicks, these spinning heel kicks. I mean, he's just putting a lot of pressure on that block, and that's going to pay dividends in the later round, especially in a 5-round fight with the new patch, with the permanent block damage. Good stuff, but a great takedown from Lemus Khan. Stifles it.
I really hope this doesn't go 5 rounds, or there's going to be someone's going to get into some trouble here. Like, they're supposed to restart, you know, they didn't restart, so it better not go past 3, or someone's going to be upset with these guys in the back.
Hey. Okay, now we got the backpack into back sitting. Let's see what these guys do. You have to be patient here. And look, we see a transition block, and he's out. Let's see if he goes back for the back sitting. What he's gonna do here on top?
Nice
roll
through.
To take the back, but wow, back to back sitting here. This is a very dangerous position. This is to be in.
It is, and he's able to maintain backside postures up. Throws some at the chin, goes low. Just maintains low and able to recover. And now Lemus Khan takes his back. Good job by the Lemus Khan.
Oh, he's dragging it down. Now some revenge for Lemus. Only 30 seconds on the clock. but wants to roll him through here. Instead, takes the crucifix, but doesn't have a lot of time left to really work from here. Lemus was the one who initiated this takedown, just felt probably there was too much pressure. Oh, nice deny. Going to take some of that stamina away of Maraish going into that second round, but closer than you'd think, given the fact that we have that veteran in Lemus and the relative newcomer here in Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, saved by the bell there. Anytime that your stamina is down and you're in sprawl submissive position on the bottom, man, you're getting ready to take a lot of damage. So that the bell in the first round ended right at the right time there. These guys are man, they're pretty even right now. I'm not sure who won that first round. Let's see what happens in the second.
Yeah, man. ICB came out like a banshee, throwing some crazy kicks, and they all pretty much landed on target. A lot of stuff was blocked, but
right hook.
Oh, nice 1-2-3 catch him throwing the flying knee as well. Beautiful work there. And Lemus coming forward with the pressure, trying to stick with the right, but there's a wheel kick one more time. Catches him right on the chin, and here comes Dragon marching forward. Nice stuck under by Lemus. Will he get another one off though?
Wow, he was just feeling range. Another hand kick there by Dragon. He is coming forward, and he is letting you know that he is here no matter who he's fighting. Let's see how the veteran deals with this adversity. If you're Lemus Khan, he's seen everything, so let's see how he deals with this.
Putting on some real pressure right now against Lemus Khan. Lemus Khan not able to really employ his game plan, and slip right hook lands but doesn't rock him somehow, but the pressure is ensuming, but he's trying to answer back. Lemus Khan throwing punches as well.
Gets caught in the exchange. There's still stamina on Dragon trying to throw, and Lemus is doing a good job moving his head, but he's made an adjustment now to that crane kick because he kept his hands down a little bit on the outside so he could set up that head movement. Now he's keeping that block up a little more and getting away from those leg kicks as well. There's just too much pressure on him.
All right, and then if you want to get some of that pressure off of you, this is a way to do it with that clinch. I know it's not the most popular, but this is a way to get that pressure off. And then stack guard here. Lemus is raining down some punches. Let's see if he can do some damage here. He's going to need it.
Oh, big shots. Beautiful stuff there, Boxer. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, nice sweep there. Dragon on top. He's been very aggressive on the stand-up. Let's see he takes that aggression to the ground here where he has the advantage. And nice post there by Lemus Khan. Just showing the nice poise by a veteran. Has seen everything, has done it all, and he's on the ground just surviving right now.
Man, I mean, these boys are just going backwards and forwards, full aggression, looking for the finish, looking for the kill. Lemus back to his feet, but there's the crane kick one more time. The pressure is so insane from Dragon. He's just marching Lemus down and swinging his hands. I mean, Lemus doing everything he could right there with the evasive head movement. I don't know if this is going to be it. It's not. But Dragon just keen to just hit the buttons and let it all fly out right now.
Yeah, now
he really is.
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, I was gonna say he really is doing a phenomenal job with the striking and the pressure and the head kicks and just mixing up the round shots with the straight shots on the pipe. Left hook, Boxer. Oh my goodness.
Wow, man. He is pouring on the pressure right now. Dragon, a huge overhead there against the gate. Could this be it? That's it. He takes out Lemus Khan for his ESFL debut by ICB Dragon. What a way to come out and show out for your camp in cold blood. Wow.
I mean, there was some nice techniques in there from Dragon. He basically kept it simple with the pressure boxing and the straight lead uppercuts, but he had those crane kicks and those wheel kicks that just mixed up the striking enough. And he was just non-stop offense, just absolutely non-stop. You see Lemus trying to trade and return a lot of things, the big damaging shots were Lemus getting caught throwing the leg kick, Lemus getting caught trying to throw the counter shot. He does tend to be a counter fighter in that pressure situation, and that's when Dragon was able to land those big damaging shots in those moments of vulnerability and to get the finish.
Yeah, one thing I saw at the turning point of the fight when Dragon threw a wheel kick and Lemus Khan wanted to evade that by a pull, and he was just still in range, and everything was downhill from there. So it's just those little small things and those small nuances that can happen that can turn the tide. And then Dragon just putting on so much pressure able to mix things up, those wheel kicks, like you said, Bailey, and to get a win against a very strong Lemus Khan. That was very impressive coming out.
Yeah, that was very nice, and the way that Dragon approached the fight, I mean, he was throwing these power shots, but throwing them strategically, where Lemur just was on the back foot a lot of the time, really unable to employ that leg kicking game plan. He had a couple early leg kicks and a couple early combinations, but it was those power shots with Marlon Moraes, just from all different types of angles, with that front pressure from that switch crane kick, and then the spinning heel kick, and then the jab overhand, just things coming from all different angles, powerful shots, and he put him away. And that's a professional player right there. Lemur, a big W for Dragon here in the ESFL.
I'm hearing there was some lag taking place apparently in the second round. Some lag kicked in, so that's what Papa says, made it a little bit harder for him. But, you know, I kind of feel for Lemur in some way, because he's a guy who's been competing for a long time and competed in UFC 3. And, you know, UFC 4 and UFC 3 are very different games in a lot of ways. You know, that slow-paced style, that counter-fighting, opportunistic style. I mean, I love that. That's how I fight. You know, it's just not as effective in some situations against just someone who's just going to come with full pressure, and someone who's a good pressure fighter, someone who can execute well and time your own, you know, counter shots and catch you a few times. They're very dangerous, and that's exactly what Dragon was right there. A very dangerous pressure fighter, and it made it very difficult for Lemur to fight his fight. And that's just the way of the game at the moment, and that's just the way of UFC 4 as well. It's very difficult to play defensive against someone who is just coming at you with an onslaught and an arsenal like that, especially at the lower weight classes as well.
Yep, I definitely agree. I mean, but for Khan, I'm pretty sure, you know, he'll be back. And if you're Dragon, you got to be feeling real good right now, no matter what the meta is, no matter what happens. You know, both people are playing up under the same circumstances, and it goes like that sometimes in online gaming. But either way, it was a good fight. I'm pretty sure we'll see both of those guys back in the octagon again. And man, this has been a banger card so far. Excited for what's next, Bailey.
Yeah, well, we've seen a bit of a changing of the guard in some ways. You know, we've seen some new guys make appearances. We see some new guys taking on some veterans. We have plenty more fights still to come tonight as well. Take a look at the card there. We've just had Lemus for crazy. Up next is the final fight of the prelims here. Unnoticed Legacy taking on Honest Jim here. Again, another veteran taking on a relative newcomer. Excuse me, after that, we have our main card, Buckflare, taking on another ICB guy. They have 3 people on the card tonight. Clover, Shelks, and obviously Dragon, who just fought. And then later on, we've got a couple of the 4 Horsemen guys as well, recognized, taking on Miss. Co-main event, Dino versus Pablo. What a fight that will be. That will be a slobber knocker of death. And then the main event tonight for a title eliminator fight, SlickColt taking on BlakeTylerr. I mean, you know, tonight we've got the Xbox side of things, and it's the first card of the season. You know, there's lots of people wanting to compete, so, you know, it's a little in and out about who gets on the card and who doesn't, but these people will be looking to put on performances that get you people at home excited tonight, I would think, Boxer, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, this card here, when I see it, yeah, stacked from top to bottom, these guys are some of the best. I've spent some time over here on Xbox recently, and these guys are very strategic, I would say. They're very technical, especially when it comes down to the ground game. So from these camps. So I'm excited to see how it all folds out.
All right, perfect. Well, let's move on to the next one. We have Unnoticed Legacy taking on Honest Jim right here. Rob, can you give us a little rundown on these two?
Yeah, sure. We have Unnoticed Legacy. He was ranked 18th at the end of season 1, peaked as high as ranked number 4, so broken into the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Always tries to keep it a technical fight, strong grappling, comfortable wherever the fight goes, and he's against Honest Jim, who ended season 1 ranked number 19. He's got a very balanced approach, strong counter punches, maybe looking for pulls, and very polished grappling. And there we go, Boxer. Talk about these matchups.
So he picked the new Adam Vettori, right?
Yeah, he's got fast hands.
Yeah, this is crazy. So we never seen in the ESFL, the new fighter came on the new patch. So one thing about Vettori, he's good. He has 93 striking, 93 blocking, and 92 head movement. a little bit weak on the punching power of the 89, but I'm excited to see this matchup in the ESFL because this is the first time we're seeing it, showing a sign of respect. Round one, let's touch him up. Let's go.
If I were to pick Vettori in any situation, it would be to counter a Whittaker player. I think you have the perks and the boxing to stand with Whittaker, but you also have the ground game to take the fight there. So I would expect Jim to hopefully shoot a double leg at some point and try and work a little top game, but should be able to contend on the feet. Now he's gone southpaw. Vettori is a southpaw, but he's actually an orthodox in the game. I don't really understand why.
Yeah, so because of that, you got to look at the switch power stat right there. His stance is only an 80, so he's giving up a whole lot when he switches that stance with Vettori.
Wow, very interesting. He's deciding to come out that approach. Must be super comfortable in southpaw.
There it is.
I think 94 and 95 punch speed. He makes it quick. He's faster than Whittaker, but not as strong as Whittaker. So very interesting matchup here.
Yeah, I think southpaw makes it a little easier to shoot that single leg takedown. And, you know, you don't need power if your objective is to, you know, outpoint and outscore your opponent and set up your ground. So, he might not be worried about the power if he finds it easier to be evasive and defensive. There's a nice back drag right there and gets it to the mat. And this is exactly what he should be doing with Vettori. You know, box a little on the feet, contend, but definitely secure the takedown. Look to work some ground and pound. Gets the full mount. Nice work by Honest Jim with 3 or 2.5 to work on the clock.
Yeah, 93 top control here by Vettori on top. So you definitely are in a good situation because the bottom control is only a 90 here, you know, from Robert Whittaker. And he's raining down some punches here, Bruce.
Yeah, chipping away at the body, taking away a little bit of that steam. And we see Whittaker going, just a posture up and then a step over because he has that grapple advantage, or excuse me, the stamina advantage. Good job in half guard, just, you know, trying to get that grapple advantage, staying patient, and seeing what his opponent's going to do, and there it is. Unnoticed Legacy able to get back in a full guard, Bay.
Yeah, Legacy's got to do something. He's going to not use that momentum sweep. Just give Jim a free transition there to half guard. Has to find his way back to the feet here. And Jim, you know, this is why we talk about Jim coming out southpaw, because, you know, he doesn't need to knock him out. He can just win the fight by winning the fight. Exactly what you want to do. Good top control so far by Jim. Not looking to advance or do anything risky. I mean, barely landing any ground and pound and posturing up. Legacy gets the pass side, but yeah, he's going to have to try something a little different now.
Wow.
That sweep that was once oh so secret is definitely becoming very mainstream now. So you got to be aware of that one.
Yeah, sometimes you can mix it up and go top. But look at here, Adam Vettori nice raining down these punches. I'm surprised that Unnoticed Legacy didn't go for the cage get up there. Wanted to test it out on the ground, but he's paying the price for it now.
Wow, Unnoticed Legacy is really trying to fake that first full guard, and you know, Vettori is just not, or Honest Jim, excuse me, is just not falling for it, and he's just picking his flicks beautifully and really able to maintain that dominant position and then posture up a few times and some great ground and pound in round number 1. Good job.
Yep. Here we go, back on the feet. Let's see if Jim shoots out of the takedown. Legacy back on the pressure with the lead hook now. Nice Superman into the straight. I like that. Nice 1-2 as well. Set up and beautiful pivot and then straight into the double leg. Going to be nice and easy there. It's a beautiful suplex. Lovely work. Just shot to the cage, straight into the over-under, and then bam, right into the suplex.
Suplex.
Okay, a lot more top control here that we're seeing by Honest Jim. Man, he's controlling this fight. It's still early in the second round, but if you get controlled here and you lost the first round, you got to start really being a lot more aggressive here if you're Unnoticed Legacy, if you want to get a win in a 3-round fight.
No doubt. And Unnoticed Legacy needs to stay calm. He cannot get frustrated. He needs to mix up his, you know, fakes, his striking, and his ground defense, because right now he's getting controlled pretty badly and getting tagged again by Honest Jim. Just doing a phenomenal job in these top positions. And
again, you know, this is why I talked about Vettori being a great counter pick to Whittaker, because if you can get him down, he's only going to try and get up. And this is one of those situations where someone takes a striker and someone takes a striker and a grappler, and, you know, they're ready to take the fight to the mat. And if your tactics to only get up, then you better get up, which he does do right there. So let's see if Legacy can keep it on the feet this time, not give up that space. He was, you know, really doing a good job with the pressure. It was a pivot that switched positions Slight bit of lag, but we're back on the clock here with 2:31:30 on the clock right there for anyone who's lagging behind.
Yep.
Ooh, gets caught.
Yeah, this is a big moment right here for Unnoticed Legacy. If he wants to come back right now, I think he wants to stay on the feet and turn the tides right now, because Honest Jim has spent some time on the ground, and it's some ground to make up from Legacy.
Nice. Yeah, no doubt. He needs to defend himself. And there it is. L2R2 denies that ankle pick. And, you know, Honest Jim is doing a great job sneaking in that straight with Vittori when Unnoticed isn't ready for it. But, man, Unnoticed is really uncorking right now and letting it fly, Bailey, and doing a good job.
Yeah, he is now just letting it go. Feels like he has to. Big right hook right there. And Jim's definitely adopting a bit more of a patient approach, waiting for that takedown, which he does get. Beautiful takedown right there. And double leg as well, so had to get the range and the timing right on it. But you could tell Jim had just let off the gas on the offense, just waiting for a mistake to come out from Legacy, and overcommitment on the leg kick, and there was the double leg for him.
Yeah, if you're Unnoticed Legacy, I know you have to really watch out for that takedown, because Honest Jim is showing that he can have a lot of control, and this is wasting a lot of time on the clock, where Unnoticed Legacy is not doing any damage. And look there, gets the reverse there. Last 26 seconds, I think he needs to go to work right here. Let's see. And another reversal here, Rob.
And another reversal, man. Good job. Honest Jim just finding himself on top again to end the second round, and now doing some devastating ground and pound. Oh, good job, but a nice slip by Unnoticed Legacy in that second round. We're just seeing Honest Jim being able to dictate where the fight takes place. Whenever you could do that in a 3-round situation, this isn't a 5-round fight. He's already got 2 rounds in the belt, or in the bucket.
In the bag.
In the bag. That's the right saying right there. Thank you, Boxer. Yeah. So, Bailey, and here we go. Round number 3. I think we need a knockout here from Unnoticed.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to find a home for one. Jump straight in with a 1-2-3, and this Jim ready to power back with a hook. But this is the kind of fight Legacy wants at this stage. If he can fake Jim trade, but there, beautifully, hook catches him. Up kick keeps him off him, but he is hurt as well, and looks like Legacy realizes he's got no choice but to just come forward, try and march him down and stick some punches on that chin, but he might put himself back in range. And look, beautiful work by Jim. Frames out, and another turning double leg. Legacy's got to get a little better at defending that.
Man, Honest Jim is doing a nice showcase here for Marvin Vittori. First time ever we see in ESFL. This is great, like you said, Bailey, a counter pick, showing he can get it done on the feet and a lot of control on the ground here. I like what I'm seeing from Honest Jim with this Vittori pickup.
Yes, sir, and we'll probably see some Vittoris popping up in the rank scene from this fight. Some fans out there going to try and mount him. He's such a great pick. Good takedowns. What is his takedown stat? I mean, he's getting some fast takedowns here and good top control.
I think he's got a level 4 double leg as well, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah, takedowns is at 89 right now, so not the best, but still able to use it.
Wow. Nice stuff, Bailey.
Well. It's right. It's right. No, I'm joking. Let's see if Legacy gets this. No, he doesn't. One more time. And you just have to, it's just tough when you're playing a striker and someone else wants to grapple, man. You better have your takedown defense on point. Great job right there. Back to the feet. 220. The fight is not over yet, though. Legacy still has time. Lots of damage available to unleash on Robert. He's got plenty in the gas, but overreaches on the uppercut. Great timing by Jim.
What?
His arm is broken. His arm is
strapped. Wow. Look at this here, man. Marvin Vittori has some power on that stand-up. Look at that. 2
Sniper straight.
Wow, let's see if he's able to finish this fight off here. He's like, let's stand up, back to the feet. Let's go, Bailey. And wow.
Oh my God, I shut my eyes after he hit the canvas face down. That's too much for me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Beautiful timing. And Jim's really, really doing a great job with the timing of his strikes. He's not forcing anything. Obviously, Legacy's forcing offense because he has to. He has to win. He's trying to win. But Jim's just sniping him with the straight, interrupting him when he comes into range. Simple stuff, 1-2s, left hooks when he needs to. So just really good timing from Jim. And he's not forcing anything in this fight.
Yeah, definitely he's not. Yeah, going Bruce.
No, go ahead, Boxer.
With 20 seconds left in this fight, Honest Jim doesn't have to take any more chances. I think he's won all 3 rounds, and he is not taking. Oh, look, he's waiting on his opportunity. It's like showboating, showing respect, man. That was a nice showcase, like we said, for Marvin Vettori with Honest Jim. Very impressive stuff.
Yeah, that was sick. And with Marvin Vettori in those later rounds, once you like accumulate some damage on the ground and on the feet, those fast punches really are just so devastating. You know, they don't have as much power, but in those later rounds, it doesn't matter. Anything that you land at that point is going to do some sick damage, some sick rocks, some sick knockdowns. And that was a beautiful display by Honest Jim, a mixture of striking, beautiful takedowns, turning takedowns. And like Balian said earlier, I noticed Legacy was having a very tough time with those turning takedowns. You got to, you know, see where that takedown is going and then flick that left stick. But whoo, what a fight, man. Wow.
Yeah. Great fight. Great performance by Jim. Yeah, Vettori, great counter pick to Whitaker. I mean, there's a lot of other top dogs at 185. You know, that kind of a style would maybe a bit more difficult against someone like a Jacare pick. You know, there's a few other 185 picks out there. Gastelum as well. You have to watch for the submission threat. Just, you know that anyone who picks up Whitaker is just not going to want to do anything on the ground except try and get back up. And on the feet, you can definitely contend. And you saw towards the end of that fight, you know, the Bulldog perk on Vettori, just giving him that block boost. He's just able to cover, and then throw my shot. Just, you can really sit behind the block. You don't even need to use that much head movement. So great showcasing. Loved it. And yeah, there we go. We'll see if we see any more Vettoris coming out on from there as well. But great performance by Honest Jim. Absolutely fantastic. What was he? Top 20 at the end of season 1. Starts off with a high right here as well. And Legacy did quite well. I think he was number 18 at the end of the first season. So Legacy also did very well last season. Definitely not out of it yet. But we still have more fights to get to this evening. The main card has yet to begin, so let's just move straight on into it and get it started. It's going to be T4H's Buckflare from the Four Horsemen camp and ICB's the In Cold Blood Clover taking each other on here at middleweight, excuse me. Rey Mysterio, guys.
What do you know about these two fighters, Bruce?
It looks like that the Four Horsemen's Buckflare has world-class grappling, and he really likes to utilize that clinch and has a relentless pace. So it looks like Buckflare is going to come out and try to control, grab him, and throw him on the mat. And ICB In Cold Blood Clover seems to be very adaptable, a fast starter with an elite ground game, so should be able to counter Buckflare here. This will be a very interesting fight, and I don't see a link here in this in this thing. So
I get it. Someone could share that with Rob, please. I think there's also been some audio problems apparently as well for this one, guys. So apparently they were fixed, but it doesn't look like they were. So
all right,
there you go.
We do have Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio. Yeah, Rey Mysterio. This is a cool little calf here by Buckflare, and like you guys say, going right to the ground here. And this is very impressive. Able to get Whitaker to the ground early in round 1, Bailey.
Sorry, we just had some other weird problems there. That burst of audio threw me off, and okay, don't worry, we're fine.
We're back.
409.
In and out right now. Okay, right. Yes, immediately getting that top position is Buckflare, and he has gone Dominator. Now, I have heard people say the reason, you know, why we don't do calves is because everyone would go Wrestler Dominator. It is that strong. So let's see how well he can do here with that Wrestler Dominator pick. And we've seen Clover go with Whitaker, which, you know, again, we've just seen how easy Vettori handled Whitaker. Let's see what Buck can do with a Dominator, which is a very, very good ground game, especially from that top position. It's incredibly hard to get up. So rolling him all over the place here, just making him look a bit silly.
Yeah, you really want to have this fight to the feet, because we see if you take that damage on the ground, if you're Robert Whitaker, it's tough to even survive on the feet with just that 90 chin of Robert Whitaker. So right now we see Flair, TH4, he's controlling again Robert Whitaker. This is what you want to do, getting a lot of transition denials right here. Coming in for the Kimura right here, and look at this. What's happening here, babe?
He's already stepping over. I mean, look at this chain straight in there. The speed of this is enough. There is a little bit of building a bar here as he's trying to push the far left, but he's just repeating the pan. Hanging out in the middle is all he needs to do right now, not even chasing to the far corners, because he's got it. And there we have the calf Wrestler Dominator getting the win nice and easily, barely through a single strike. Waited for a mistake from Clover, and made him pay right there. So I don't know if we'll see more of that, more calves making their appearances, but it's going to be tough to take any kind of striker if you're against a wrestler dominator, I'm telling you.
Yeah, anytime you had those calves, you really never know your opponent that well. No telling what they have, what submissions they have from what positions. But right now, what we see, that Dominator dominated Robert Whitaker on the ground, and that was a very quick match, very quick dominating performance. And man, got to win here. TH4 Buckflare getting it done.
Buckflare dominating with the Dominator in dominating fashion, and just incredible. I mean, he just locked in that Kimura, and then he hit that button, and that advanced his position even further, and then controlled him nicely and got the submission. No sounds. It was a little hard to get hyped, but still a big W by the Four Horsemen Buckflare over in Cold Blood Clover. Big W here.
We always see the Four Horsemen camp pulling out, whatever's hardest to deal with. You pick a technique that's difficult to deal with. If your opponent is skilled in it, you can bet the Four Horsemen are drilling it. Crucifix or a clinch position, just anything that's like, oh, that's tough to deal with. The Four Horsemen are in there.
That's where they going,
and they're working it. So props right there, getting a nice, quick, easy win. And we let calves in the ESFL. If you want to pick them, you can pick them. If you're a grappler, we might see a few more dominators show up, because it's very different. I mean, once you get it to the feet, if you can keep it there, it can be pretty easy to overwhelm them. But if they do get that takedown, especially early, you can have the tables turned and really quickly on yourself. So you gotta be careful if you see a dominator across from you. Don't pick a striker. That's my advice. Pick someone with some kind of ground game. Yeah.
What, and you know a lot about these archetypes. So if you were against a dominator and you wanted to create a fighter, who would you pick to counter a dominator?
Well, I mean, honestly, some things have changed since the last time I took a proper look. But I mean, you could, if you were a middleweight, I would have taken maybe Jacare or something like that. I mean, the dominator's not going to be faster than you on the feet.
I'm talking to my niggas right now. So my niggas.
We just had the audio from the fight just play. I apologize for that, guys. Blimey.
Sorry.
All right. It was off the whole time. Anyway, if you were to take a just make me laugh. Sorry. I would say Jacare is a great pick in that situation, because you're not gonna get outstruck on the feet. You're not gonna get outsped on the feet. You're gonna have more power on the feet. And if it goes to the mat, you've got any way of reversing that position and just changing up the pace of the fight, whatever you want to do on the feet. I'm sorry, that completely threw me off right there. It's like this.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, no problem. Always unexpected, unexpected in the ESFL.
All right. What's coming up next for us, Bailey?
Okay. We have Hasboy's taking on another member of the ICB camp in Cold Blood. Hasboy's obviously a vet. We've had him for a long time competing here. Peaked at number 2, I believe, Rob, last season, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow. We're talking about Hasboy's. Yes, sir. You're right. Peaked as high as number 2.
All right, there we go. Right,
we'll see. And do you want me to keep elaborating on?
Oh yes,
on
please do keep elaborating. For I've been completely thrown off my tracks here. That's fine.
No problem. We got Hasboy's, like Bailey said, peaked as high as number 2. That's really hard to do, and he's been streaming and he's been training. I've been seeing him on his grind, active submission game, great wrestling. Likes to take his opponents into that deep water and just drown them. And we're seeing another in Cold Blood fighter. Shells here ended 47th. So this is a big opportunity for him to take a very high-ranked opponent. And I guess this man stays calm and calculated, and he's specialized in throwing big body work, which will chip away at that stamina. So, and he's an all-around fighter. So, yeah, Boxer, this should be an interesting matchup here.
Yeah, if you got RDA and if you get the health advantage, which you see that they're picking, that force of nature perk is going to come in. So you're going to be taking less damage. So that's what I want to see with any RDA pickup. You want to get that health advantage so that force of nature perks kicks in. Also has crazy legs. So your roundhouse and switch kicks are coming out faster and more accurate. Zip. Against this Volkanovski pickup, that's what you're going to need. And this is a nice balanced fight here. Both of these characters can get it done on the feet and on the ground. So interesting matchup here. First round, touching them up. Let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens here. Toe to toe, it should be fairly even. Hasboy's going to use that footwork. So big advantage though. And when you're with RDA and you swing and miss big, it can cause problems. So we'll see what Hasboy's can do. Floating on the outside, beautiful work. They return to the body with the straight left. But there's the footwork already playing a factor, pulling out of range of that body kick. So although Shells wants to land those big damaging strikes with RDA, the hindrance to that footwork is going to make that a little bit harder to do.
Yeah, one thing that I usually don't call out, but the tell sometimes is early in the fight how it's going to go in the early long-term stamina if you look at it. And what I see right now, Shells already, it has a slight advantage there, and that's something that I always look at early on.
Ooh.
Oh, nice uppercut sneaks in there by Hasboys. Beautiful pull counter in. And Shells is really doing a good job of kind of fighting stationary, not giving too much ground. And putting that pressure on Hasboys right now, making him work a lot. Good job.
Nice slips as well from Shells, just doing a good job getting outside of that straight. Not immediately firing either. Not looking to counter, just slip for defensive purposes and then try and find home for the return shots afterwards. If Hasboys is putting the pressure into Shells like this, it's going to take away that footwork advantage that he has. It's the backpedaling that's going to be harder for Shells to land the shots, but he loops in the beautiful left hand off the back of that uppercut as well. And now Hasboy's retreating. This is a little bit better. It's going to be harder for Shells to time everything, because if he's walking into him, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that was a nice way to mitigate that pressure there coming in from Hasboys. Just get the clinch, land some damage, and get the fight back to the center of the cage right now. And look at there, Shells is working on that stamina. And like you said, that force of nature perk is getting ready to come in, but he has some ground to make up here.
Yeah, Shell's doing a great job at mixing up his kickboxing and his elbows, as you can see there. But Hasboy's really trying to catch him right there. A nice uppercut has Shells in all sorts of trouble, but Shells is still standing his ground. He needs to be careful here.
Yeah, I think he thought he wasn't fatigued, and there's the 1-2 just breaking the block right there. Now he's going to move his head.
Bang!
Just unable to, and that's where footwork and stamina is incredibly powerful for Volkanovski. You can just chase your opponent down in that situation. Just tag them. When they've got no block, Shells needed to shoot or something. He couldn't just retreat there, but that's what he tried to do and made him pay badly for that. And look how much head health he lost off the back of that. He's still in this orthodox stance as well, which is not going to help him anymore. Wow.
Yo, you can't just back up against that cage and then get stuck. And that's what we're seeing right now. Hasboys pouring on the pressure.
Much better.
Right now, let's see what ICB is able to get this fight to the ground. And this is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to keep the fight here, collect himself, get into the second round, and just get a reset right now. But Hasboys, this has all been Hasboys' round here in round one.
Yeah, Shells got a crucial sway there, which saved the whole fight there, allowing him to get to round number 2. And he had a really stationary approach, not using too much footwork, not utilizing too much movement, just kind of standing there, relying on his block, relying on his, his sways. And Hasboy's just going out there using that bulldog Volkanovski approach, just throwing some haymakers, and that stamina is going to be there in a 3-round fight. So, Shells has to be a little bit more aware of what's going on in there and use some of that footwork, and that takedown is crucial. So, wow, what a fight so far from Hasboys, Bay.
Yeah, he did a great job adjusting to that the second time it happened, though. He slipped 2 shots and then shot the takedown. That's what he should have done the first time. He knows it can't happen again if he wants to not lose this fight. Here it comes with the pressure. The block breaking is just too much. Lovely pivot. Oh, but he tried to land the left hook. I mean, he's just getting caught while he's trying to counter right now, and he has to be really careful about when he's throwing offense, because if it's at any point where Hasboy is able to return, if he gets caught, the vulnerability is just going to be too much for him to handle. If I was Shells, we need to get some grappling going, right, Boxer?
Yeah, definitely, because right now Hasboy, he has that timing to go right into the pocket here, knowing when to land that uppercut on Shells. But like you said, Balian, the stand-up is not working right now. You gotta get off of this cage, get a takedown, or do something, because it's not gonna last long. And that was all she wrote there. Hasboy's huge right hand there for the KO against ICB Shells. Wow.
Jeez, and you could really see that Shells has some good head movement and really can throw off Hasboys, but he just took too much head damage in that first round and was just unable to utilize it, and it was just a little bit too late. But he was, man, Hasboys was gassing himself out. I mean, he threw everything in the kitchen sink at his opponent, and he got the win. I mean, good kudos to Hasboys. But yeah, definitely an interesting fight, and I'm sure he'll learn a lot from that experience against Hasboys. What a contest! Wow, that was fun to watch.
I mean, again, to me, you know, that's just what I don't like about the game right now. You could just walk at someone and just keep non-stop punching, and there's not much they can do about it in that situation unless he took the clinch or took the takedown, which he probably should have done to mitigate that pressure. But if you're going to try and strike back in that situation, you know, like against Volkanovski, who has the gas tank, the speed, and the footwork, should just run forward and pressure you like that. It's almost impossible to strike back in that situation. I threw my hands up towards the end of that one, boys, because I was just like, Hasboys knows he can just walk forward and keep spamming punches. There's nothing he can do here unless he grapples. And you're right, Rob. It was because he took too much damage early on in that first exchange. But again, that's because he just backed up and let Hasboys do that. Now, Hasboys, I know Boggs is a fan of this, Hasboys is just playing the game. Hasboys is playing the game how you can play the game. You can put that much pressure on with Volkanovski. You have the ability to do that with Volkanovski. And it's a very, very easy way and a very effective way to get wins with Volkanovski. So that's what he did. All props and power to Hasboys for that. Great use of the pressure. But you know, you can't. This is the game. This is the game. You know,
it's the current meta of the game. You know, I've had certain states of the game that kind of, you know, cater to what I like to do, and sometimes it's not always going to be in your favor. But you have to play the meta of the current game as it is right now, and that's what it is. Now, one thing that I did see with Hasboys, he was able to get that single uppercut off right in the right pocket whenever Shells was getting ready to throw that hook. And that's one thing I'm gonna go back and look at, because that was a nice counter that actually changed the tide of that match twice. And that's a very you know, good boxing skill to know when to fire that single uppercut just to end the night early. But both of those guys are very skilled. ICB in cold blood, a great camp. I'm pretty sure they're all going to get together, talk about it, and come back stronger. Looking forward to seeing both of those guys back in the ESFL. Wow.
Yeah, and also, I feel like if Shells in that first round would have maybe used a little bit more L1 back pivots, or just moved a little bit more his feet instead of just standing there and trying to rely on head movement and blocking, while, you know, Hasboys is just throwing all this pace, I really think he could have tired out Hasboys and really made him swing and miss. And then in that the latter part of that second round and third round, really capitalized. But he just ate a lot of those punches on the block. And like Balian said, like you can't take that many punches like that. So it's just a tough situation for Shells, but maybe a little bit more movement in that first round and a little bit more elegance out there, and he might have been able to, you know, make a miss a couple times and then have that big stamina advantage.
Yeah, it's also
be elegant out there.
It's also a case, you know, when you try and throw whilst your opponent is initiating their offense, when your opponent is being that aggressive, it's just, you know, you're gonna get caught. Like they're gonna just, if they throw a two-piece and you try and counter, you know, chances are they're not finished and you're going to get hit during the vulnerability window. So that's another thing as well. Even if they miss, you can't, that doesn't give you a reason to land your own offense right now. Like, you know, there's not a lot of tacks or whiffs when someone misses. If someone goes 1, 2, 3 and they miss, you can't always step in with your own counter because they can just go straight back in with a straight lead hook or something. So if someone's being that aggressive, like you said, Rob, you got to wear them out. But in order to do that, you can't just counter fight immediately. You know, you have to wait a little, wait until they've really finished all that offense and then come back. Because then if you start trying to swing back on them and you get caught vulnerability, like you said, Boxer, with that uppercut he was just single shotting, or when, you know, when Shells was trying to throw the hook, the rear hook, he was just getting caught at max vulnerability as well. And it was a shame in that situation too. But there we go. So there we are. Never mind. Right, moving on.
All right.
The next fight, we are moving up here the card as well. 3 fights left. You know what? Let's take one final look at it for those of you who didn't see all of the great fights we've had so far this evening. Cuff and Quiet kicking things off as well. Cuff making a great comeback against the wrestling dominance of Khabib's Quiet, but Cuff coming out on top there. Great finish in that fight. Ryan fought Dirty Dave in a back and forth matchup here with 2 up-and-comers, or newcomers, excuse me. Great little back and forth in that one as well. Guinness making his debut as an 8-0 undefeated prospect from the IXF. and got taken out by Canyo there. He was Jorge Masvidal, if you remember, and came out a little too hot out of the gate. Stopped in the second round there after a good crazy combo from Canyo. Lemus Khan took on Crazy Dragon. Lemus Khan, the veteran, just overwhelmed tonight by Crazy Dragon's pressure with that Marlon Moraes pick. The jumping front crane kicks and the wheel kicks came out aplenty from Crazy, as well as the blitzes against the cage. Lemus found himself in a similar situation to Shells as well tonight there, getting backed up and unable to, get away from the onslaught. And Legacy fought Jim in a great fight, but Jim showing a beautiful Marvin Vittori pick tonight with the wrestle boxing, getting it done for him against the Whittaker pick of Legacy. Clover fought Buckflare. There was no audio for that one except at the very end, but we all know what happened there. And, Buckflare looked great. Wrestler, dominator, got the tap nice and easy 2.5 minutes in. And we just saw Hasboys beat Shells with more excellent pressure boxing. So, guys, we are moving on now to the co-main event of the evening. Great Mist will be taking on TH4's Recognize, looking to get another win on the board for the Four Horsemen tonight. It is at lightweight. Rob, what have you got?
Well, we have a great opportunity here for Great Miss, who was ranked 36 at the end of season 1, a counter striker, really good adept head movement and pressuring footwork. So he's going to come out and really try to bait out some pulls maybe and adapt in that fight. But he's going against the Four Horsemen Recognize. And this is a big name on this card for anyone that's new here. I mean, he's one of the premier fighters from that Four Horsemen camp. And he was ranked number 5 last season. An ESFL veteran, a very high volume striker, and he's really well rounded. A great grappling, great clinch, really can make the fights gritty if he chooses. So this is going to be a very tough fight for Great Miss, but a big opportunity as well.
Yeah, if you want to talk about using a clinch, if you get Eddie Alvarez with that grinder perk, uses less stamina when grappling on the feet, and also he's very strong in that clinch. He has a light glue perk, so that's one thing that I want to see with this Eddie Alvarez pickup. You can make it dirty. You don't have to finesse it and keep it pretty. You can get in the face of your opponent and do some damage.
There we go.
Touching him up, round 1.
Recognize straight on the double, bails on it, right hand over the top and hits a pivot. I mean, that's just unorthodox as it comes, and there's the hip toss. Even with the patch changes, he still grabbed that so nice and easily right there. So, you get 10 seconds into the fight, you've been, double legs and hit and then hip toss, and you don't even know what's happening. Yeah. That's recognized for you.
You got to know it's coming anytime you facing a T4H member. These guys are elite on the ground, and you want to almost lean on that, maybe even pre-deny, because when you get down here, look at this, landing some huge damage here, and these guys just know how to control you. They're good at transition denials, and just, man, it could be an early night if you don't pay attention to the ground game.
100%, and they're just waiting for you to make a mistake and waiting for you to give them an advantage to lock in a choke or to do some ground and pound. Again, postures up, lands a quick shot, keeps that stamina high, and really just looking to control his opponent. Great Miss here, Bailey, doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he postured up, waited for the frame, got the stamina advantage, then passed, now full mount. Like we said, we see this a little bit more in the meta. We've seen it a lot tonight, actually, without even thinking about it. But when you've got Tony Ferguson, it doesn't matter. As long as you're grappling, you're fine. If you get sweeped, you're fine. If you can hold top position, you're fine. He doesn't care.
Yep.
If you're coming to fight Recognize, you better come to grapple. You better know, no matter what, you're going to end up grappling at some point. So you better be ready to exchange in these grapple situations. So let's hope Great Mist has done his homework and is ready to do that. Eddie is not terrible. He's got a fairly good top game, but he has to get it there. He has to get this sweep and maintain his own composure and find his own openings in these situations. Recognize doing a good job on the far side hip fake. Going to probably try to posture up again for the safe pass because he's done that a few times. This side, same far side hip fake, up on the full guard posture, one shot. And he's just looking for that easy transition as well, not even taking any risks right now.
Yeah, and like you said, Bailey, whenever you had his Tony Ferguson pick up, no matter where you're at, he feels dangerous because he has so many sweeps. There's nowhere you're safe on the ground against a Tony Ferguson. But here is a nice get up there. And right now, you need to stay on the feet. You have a minute left. Let's see if you can land some damage if you're Great Miss here to kind of even this round out.
Yeah, Great Miss really needs to watch out for that clinch, slip away from that grab. And right now he's just in the grindhouse of the T4H wrecking ball, recognizing, just swinging punches at the body, unloading a little bit of that stamina. He's got to be careful, but this is what he needs to do. Throw big shots, but there it is. Recognize has the striking, but good body shots, Balian.
Yeah, trying to get some significant strikes on the board, but overcommitted. There's the pull counter, and that's real bad. No, that uppercut probably saved him right there.
Be right back, boys.
I was going to say, I mean, that's what you got to do. Throw big shots, get some significant strikes on the board, but in the haste to do that, you know, like you said, you don't feel safe on the ground, but when you're with Recognize or someone like that, you know you're losing a round, so you're in desperation mode to try and get it back. So you're already flying out of your game, and you're not safe on the feet either, especially if you're winging shots.
Yeah, well, the Great Miss did whatever he could do at that point. He actually went for it, but in that going for it, you leave yourself in danger. And look at there. I like that. Nice. What we're seeing right now in round 2, he's getting off of the cage and he's having some nice takedown defense. This is exactly what you need to do. Make adjustments to your fighter, and let's see if he can get off of this cage and stop the backpack potentially, or maybe even the drag down. It's so tough right here to understand what your opponent is going to do, backpack or the drag down, and you definitely need to be cautious anytime you're in the back sitting position.
Yeah, that's just such a tough position to be in. Just seems real hard to not be dragged down to the ground, and now you're in this this precarious position where they could lock in that dominant rear naked choke. So right now for grapplers, that sequence is so deadly, and Recognize using it now, but works his way up, gets that denial there, and maintaining control throughout the fight. These exchanges now postured up, raining down some hooks, landing nicely. Slips that front one. Good stuff from Recognize.
And I think we called it at the start of the night. Mount is slowly becoming a new part of this meta. People are definitely holding position there, forcing transitions out of that position and just landing safe ground and finding ways to posture up against these top level players. And we just had it right there. Posture straight back into the half guard slice right here. Arm triangle fake into a couple of body shots to build more GA, but slips it in there. Catches him pushing, but he'll probably just use this to pass, gents. I mean, if he feels like he's not going to get it, I wouldn't be surprised if he bails on it, but if he can get side control out of it as well, I'm sure he'll be happy. Gives up on it there. Back to the ground and pound.
That's a good analysis. If you go deep enough in that submission, you actually get a free pass to side control. I think he let it go there, but this is a lot of control here by Recognizing. He's just doing a lot of patient grinding, slowing down. Back to the feet, though, by Alvarez. Great Miss, doing a good job here. Let's see, taking it back again. Will it be a drag down? But this time it's a backpack, and then right back where you started from in back sitting, Rob.
Yeah, just so many decisions as Great Miss had right there. You got the backpack, you got the back drag, you got strikes. Just so hard to know what's coming. And then this position here, that down flick to deny that he misses it, and then he gets his back taken, and now he's in a terrible situation right now. That rear naked choke is looming, but he's not going for it. Very interesting.
He hasn't got a lot of time to finish it. He probably wants some damage, I'd imagine, as well. But I mean, this is almost another meta. We see Rayhan adopt this style a little bit as well. We see Romero blend a little bit of this style into his game as well. This is almost another meta to this game, as the cage takedown back sit position, work for the rear naked choke from there, but also, you can double leg bail to push back to the cage. And once you hit the cage control position there, you can take the back and you can work from there. You can do the trips, you can do whatever. So it's almost like another strategy of offense that we see here as almost a separate meta.
Yeah, and so now if you're Miss, I want to see what the game plan coming out, because we know this fight, it wants to go to the ground, and are you going to make your adjustments and kind of lean on it? And that's what he's doing right there. Nice huge shots there coming out here by Great Miss.
Yeah, Great Miss coming out with some heat, and then gets a nice pull and lands a deadly uppercut. But there is Recognize doing what he always does, making the fight gritty, going to the ground, using that clinch. And now we're in this position again in the third and final round where He's got so much time and so much control time added up here. It's really important for Great Miss to find a way up, but easier said than done against the Four Horsemen standout.
Yeah, it's very tough to beat Recognize. I mean, he's doing a great job, like you said, landing a few strikes on the feet, and that's definitely going to score. I mean, Recognize isn't landing too many significant strikes, but the control time of the takedowns are probably going to do it for him regardless of that. Getting an old Prioxis flick going on the stick there on the right-hand side as well, just hitting every button imaginable. There's the slice to side control. He can force the sprawl position from here, and now he can work the body or go straight to the back.
Ooh.
Nice deny from here, but it's very hard to get up from this position. It's very hard to go out to the side.
You can't force it. Either you're going to have to do a power transition, but if you do that, you burn a lot of stamina. But at the end of the round and you have stamina to burn, I think you want to do that anytime you get in that sub-sprawl position or utilize the cage. But this is a tough position here because you do not want to give up the back mount here. It's a down transition. You can land right back in the back sitting. And then here it is. You're back. You're right back here. It's a ton of decisions to make here.
Man.
Backpack. You know, in that case, you just want to hold R2 to block that. And you're just one transition denial here from being in a dominant rear naked choke.
Yeah, it's just a hard decision. I mean, I don't know. Can you be reactive there and just look at what your opponent's doing? It just seems like you have to choose which path to go down and then hope for the best. I'm not sure the best players might have something different to say, but yeah, those positions just are so hard, and Recognize keeps continually putting Great Miss there and just choosing wrong every time.
Well, I mean, the thing that Great Miss should be doing is trying to get to guard. He's not always trying to get to guard. He's trying to roll to sprawl and things like that. He needs to work his way back to guard, and then from guard, he can get a safe route back. But I know that he's bailing on the sprawl there as a fake, but guard is really his only avenue of a consistent, safe route back to his feet. He's not going to hit anything from half guard. Side control is dangerous, but you know it's hard to do anything when Recognize is just this good. He's just very, very good as a grappler.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say, even though this was a very dominant performance here by another member of the TH4 camp, it's tough to even survive a match against these guys. So Miss even doing a good job just to get, to this point. But there's levels to this. And this is what we're seeing right now. TH4 recognized on a whole nother level when it comes down to the ground. And for everybody out there, like, this is a part of your game that you're going to have to study is the back takedowns. You're going to have to know those just as much as you know anything else in the game to be competitive at this state, because we're seeing that's where the meta is, and that's where this game was won and controlled. And great job by Recognize doing what he had to do. Let's see what they say.
Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Tony.
There we go.
There it is. Recognize getting the W, and it just seems like in that back drag position that there's a lot of confusion amongst the community. Do you hold L2 R2? Do you hold L2 R2 and use that left stick to block? And I personally don't even know. So if anyone could clear that up for me, how do you drag that? How do you deny the drag?
What we really need right now is a video from Romero17 just giving us all of the defenses. I know how to initiate them better than I know how to defend them, to be honest. It's
I was talking with D-Mart about that. That is a turn and takedown. So this is a R2, and you're going to have to choose either up or down on the right stick. It's a turn and takedown that you have to defend in that scenario, or just holding R2 to defend the backpack. So yeah, it's you have some decisions there.
So the R2 and the left stick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the same,
okay, R2 left stick.
Yep.
So those are turning takedowns.
That's a turn and takedown.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, I can't be teaching you stuff up here, bro. You already can beat me. I don't need to be helping you out, man.
I need the knowledge. The community needs to know.
Yeah.
Well, really, something like that, you can set that up in practice mode, but really stuff like that, you need to get yourself a buddy or a training camp and get in there and practice. And this is why the Four Horsemen camp are so good, is because they're in there every day, one-on-oneing, in the apex, and just practicing this over and over again, practicing the defense, practicing the timing. And, you know, unless you got some buddies or a camp to practice with, you're not going to be able to work it out in real time in a fight, you know, because chances are not many people are going to do that to you because not many people know how to do it. And by the time you come across someone that does, you will not have had enough practice. So, yeah, you need to get yourself a buddy and get in there or just set it up in practice mode. But that takes a long time because you have to constantly reset it as well. But it's tough. It's tough. It's in there, though. There's also the lateral takedowns as well from that position, which are even harder to deny. So,
got
it's
that.
Tough. It's tough, man.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, well,
It's a rough life in that position, huh,
it is
boys?
a rough life in that position. Well, we're moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Rob, I know you're very excited for this one. It is Dino MMA, one of the most creative strikers in the game, ending last season as the #1 contender as well, taking on Pablo Grips, a man who just never backs down, fights to their death, Rob. So what can you tell us about these two?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this was the fight when I first saw the bill I was the most excited for. These two dynamic strikers, Pablo Grips, just a phenomenal, aggressive striker with some great adaptability and a great ability to read his opponent. Ranked number 3, a high pressure fighter, great defensive grappling, devastating combinations. Can't be said enough. And Dino, one of the best, if not the best, one, like some say he's the best striker in the game on the Xbox side. Dino MMA, #1 contender to end season 1, creative striker, patience, comfortable everywhere. This guy's a legend, and this fight should be fireworks tonight, boys.
Yeah, no back takes and takedowns in this matchup. When you got that new 5-star Max Holloway against a very fast Conor McGregor in the stand-up, we're getting ready to see a barn burner here, folks. Two of the best guys to ever do it, squaring it off in the center. Round one.
Camera angle right here. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat either fighter, really. Dino with the classic Conor pick. I like it. Going to have a slight power advantage, but Pablo is just never going to tire right here. With that Max Holloway pick, there's a beautiful slip straight right there as well. And the speed at which this fight will take place will never be very hard to keep up with. But that's a nice rear hook, followed by a body kick right there as well. Dino trying to snipe from the outside with that straight left, keep it off him. But lots of dips already. There's a nice head kick.
Wow.
And you've really got to watch
like
that
you said,
slip straight right there from Pablo.
Yeah, you got a lot of gas in your tank with this 99 cardio Max Holloway. You can just let it all go, but you're going to need it. 5-round fight here. Yeah, nice combination there coming out with Pablo Grip.
Yeah, Pablo Grip coming out very strong and landing very, very nice heavy shots on McGregor early. And in the first and second round with that out of the gates perk from McGregor, you really want to get those first 2 rounds in the bag if you're Dino, and Pablo, you know, taking this one real close, taking it to him.
Now, this is a 5-round fight. It might be because it's a title eliminator as well. I'm not entirely sure. I think it may have supposed to have been one, but we'll have to get some confirmation in the back. But Dino, classically, with Conor, that straight left is a big weapon. Pablo slipping there over and over again every time it comes out. So see if Dino makes an adjustment to the left hook instead. There was a straight left right down the pipe as well. And the pressure coming forward by Pablo, but great job to snapping that jab to the body from Dino. A lot of high-level players like Suspenser like to do that, to chase you down with it when you're low stamina. It's a nice, straight, short, dipping shot. And there again, jab to the body. Sets it up for that straight left this time. There's no slip off that one. Whiffs on the big body strike right there, but Pablo trying to sit back a little, find the timing on his shots. Now closing the distance with a chopping roundhouse off the back of that same stride. Same side straight.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, and Dino with this Conor McGregor pickup, I mean, very fast character with a 97 footwork here and that Predator perk. I mean, he is lightning fast, and what we're seeing is Dino having great footwork here and really making Max Holloway whiff, and that's why he has the stamina lead right here. You have to be careful, and with being one of the top guys in the OWC, man, Dino is doing what he has to do here to make this a short night for Pablo Grip.
Yeah, this is very interesting because Dino's taking the more patient approach here, and And Pablo is just investing so much into this round, and he's getting a lot of head health off. Look at that. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage. He's going to have a lot of cardio in the later rounds, but wow, this is a big investment, boys. I don't know how it's going to pay out. This is interesting.
It is supposed to be 5 rounds as well, so that is correct. But what's really helping Dino right now is all the body work with the straight shots. Really, that jab to the body. I know I called it a little bit earlier in the fight, but it's setting up a lot of his other strikes. And it's a real safe way for him to keep touching the body. He doesn't have to overcommit with anything else. There's no jumping, leaping lead hook to the body to chase him down. It's just a quick stab and go, and it's safe, and you're not in danger from anything else. There's the slip, though. Beautiful work by Pablo landing that. Nice work.
Yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting, if this fight goes into rounds 3, 4, and 5, that higher altitude perk for Pablo Grips is going to kick in, and he's going to need that, because then he'll consume less stamina during those rounds, because right now he's down on the life lead, and he's going to need it to make it through this round.
Yeah, definitely. He might be banking on that. I mean, he does have a big stamina disparity right there, but I mean, he's done some good damage, and he's gonna. I mean, if you're gonna do this with anyone, Max Holloway's the man to do it with. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm super curious.
Dino's got the timing down of Pablo right now. Pablo just on the return of everything that Dino lands. Dino just completely dictating this rhythm of this fight. And one step ahead in every way. Pablo just trying to find a counter shot, but just never there, and getting picked apart. And he's having to throw a lot, which is why he's down on the stamina. But like you said, Rob, that's going to cost him more and more. And he has to throw extra combos because he's not landing. He's not landing anything else. He has to overcommit and burn the stamina.
Yeah, this is what you want to see, man. This is where the striking is playing out at its highest level. Dino, he's picking his shots. And he's being more calculated. But look at there, just as we said it there, huge right kick there by Pablo Grips there to get his first rock. And things may be turning right here. We never know. You never know. It's just life leads such a disparity. I mean, you got to be careful here. Just a couple more hits, man. You could be out.
Yeah, and he's just tagging Dino time and time again. And this is like, again! He cracked him! That could be it! Pablo D on top, landing the finishing touches! Dino, can he survive?
Can he get it? Can he get it?
Oh my goodness, he can. He got his Albalian.
I mean, he's burning himself out trying to get it. I mean, he's doing a lot of damage because he's throwing an insane amount of punches, and that's one advantage you have with Max. And Dino's doing a good job sniping him when he can. He lands big body kicks after he's blown himself out in combinations, and he still has all that power in the tank. Dino's just going to have to be careful about his own offense now and not look to trade and not look to return when he thinks he can land a strike, but only when he knows he can, because if he gets caught swinging with vulnerability, that definitely will be the end of the show. But there's a nice straight left right there. Backs him up nicely. Going to pull forward, use that Predator perk with a double jab, and now reset the pace a little bit more and try and get back on the rhythm he had at the start of this round.
Yeah, and if you're Dino, I want to do my damage right now, but look, you can't do it. Nice uppercut there by Pablo Grips, and a huge up kick there by Dino to keep this thing standing. You got 1 minute left before that higher altitude perk kicks in, and I would be putting my pedal to the metal right now if I'm Dino. These guys are just trying to recover there right now, but this is a barn burner, just like we thought. Is not disappointing so far.
Yeah, and then you got 30 seconds left on those out of the gate perks for Dino. So I mean, he has such a great a great stamina advantage. So he's gonna start throwing some heat and some power, and you got a couple rocks in that second round, which is big for Dino because he needs to start chipping away. We see a little taunting, little pointing of the finger there. Pablo getting in his head, and wow, guys, what do you think about this? I mean, that was huge rounds for Pablo, but just so much stamina invested.
I don't know how good McGregor's recovery stat is. He's going to need it, is all I'll say, because if he gets caught while he's initiating his own offense again, it's going to be real bad. Where's that body kick? Not that beautiful combination. Straight lead uppercut. Lovely work. And now Pablo on the back foot, flashing his head health right there. More head health, I think, for Dino now than Pablo, and the stamina advantage. So it's who makes a mistake first right now is probably going to be the one to lose. Who's going to slip up and get caught?
Yeah, it is so tough. You see how fast this Conor McGregor is with that Predator perk. You can't make a mistake because 1, 2, bang, it'll be over with.
There it is.
Just like that. counter with a huge left hand there by Dino MMA, but coming right back is Pablo Grips with that high and a huge knockdown there. 1, 2, 3, 10. Pablo get it done. He
Still in it. Oh my God. These
Somehow,
guys.
some way, Dino slips that straight and is still here. This fight is absolutely incredible, man. Both guys are so back and forth, and Dino's just answering back, but Pablo's still there, and I think this is the round that Pablo needs to end it.
There's no block left on Dino, man. He can't take anything. Everything's breaking that block. A 1, 2, 3. The 3 will pierce straight through and do some serious damage, so he has to get on that footwork. And, you know, I know he wants to land the offense, but anyone who overcommits is going to get punished. There's Pablo overcommitting slightly right there as he tries to take advantage of the Predator and step forward back into range. Pivot switch to the outside with the lead hook straight, trying to really push back Pablo here, who's trying to step his way in off the timing. The jump forward on the lead hook is super risky, but bails on the follow-up rear uppercut right there, and it's been the duck unders for Dino that's been causing a lot of damage, but Pablo's pull counter has been money for him as well. So both men real careful. There's a straight to the body, though. Really slipping that in home. Man, it's so close right now.
Yeah, it is. This is when both fighters have went through adversity, and now it's about who can stay focused and who can actually implement these reads. A huge left hand there by Dino again up against the cage. He has Pablo Grips now trying to put down the last ringing bombs here, and he landed, and that's it there. Dino coming back and showing why he is one of the best to ever do it with a huge dominating performance there against Pablo Grips. Wow.
Just so impressive how Dino MMA just stayed so patient. I mean, there's a perfect example of someone just throwing the onslaught, the cardio, the 99 cardio, the volume of Max Holloway. Just threw everything he had at him in rounds 1, 2, and the half of round number 3, and then you just saw Dino with that slight stamina advantage and that power starting to be like a glass cannon. You know, that block was shattered. His head health was shattered. Pablo did phenomenal work, phenomenal damage, but Dino had the energy and had the pop and the wherewithal to be a little bit clinical and strategical and then take that position and finish him with that ground and pound. I mean, so important, so impressive.
Yeah, very impressive finish as well. I mean, these guys at the highest level, you can see it in that one. They're so hard to put away, man. They're both so defensively sound, and what a great matchup. Lived up to the hype, I think, in every single way, that one. I mean, my voice is gone nearly from that one.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say, Bailey, and even though Max Holloway has that 99 stamina, and he has that higher altitude, these are just stats and these are just perks. That doesn't mean you can go out there and just do anything you want to, because anything can be mitigated in this game.
True.
And that's what I saw there by Dino MMA. It didn't matter about the stamina, 99. It didn't matter about the 5 stars. If you go out there and implement your game plan, you will come out on top. And that's what I saw. Huge respect there to Dino MMA. Beating a very, very strong Pablo Grips, man. I would love to see that fight 10 times over. Great job by both of those guys.
Can't imagine how fast their hearts were racing in that. Like, just like trying not to make one mistake. I think the final sequence, Pablo stepped in with a 1-2, and Dino planted with a jab and threw that rear uppercut, and the rear uppercut beat the 2 right there. So it's the vulnerability windows and getting caught while initiating the offense really that sort of continuously turned the tide in that fight. It wasn't like block breaks and setups. It was one man trying to initiate an offense and someone else catching them mid-strike as well with the main thing. So, oh, what a fight. What a great way to kick things off for the start of the new season as well. Fantastic. Fantastic.
But
here we go. Time to turn it up.
Yeah, that was not the main event. The main event tonight is going to be Slick taking on BlakeTylerr. Now, this is at bantamweight as well, so you know this is going to be just as fast, if not faster, the last fight as well. These are 2 guys who have made such a name for themselves in the last season, really turning up the volume on who they are, on their skill set, adding names to their belts. So I mean, Box is looking at the picks right now. So
he's not gonna do it. I'm like, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna do that.
Sean
I
O'Malley.
want to see that.
There we go.
Yeah, what you know about these guys, Bruce?
Yo, we got BlakeTylerr, who's ranked #2 last season. Patient, blends pressure well with his defense. And then you got SlickColt, ranked #4. 2 top 5 guys. And SlickColt's going to bring high-level grappling. He's going to be real aggressive with his ground and pound. And he's got some clinical wrestling.
Love it. Love the pick.
Pedro Munoz.
Yes.
Oh, wow, man. That's crazy. Crazy legs. You got to watch out for the roundhouse and switch kicks, fast hands, no cigar. So that's improved submission defense in top positions and wake-up calls, recovers from stuns and knockdowns more quickly. But he's facing a very strong Tyler Break that has the champion there, Jan. Piotr Jan. If I said that right.
I mean,
yeah.
It's not a bad counter pick. You have the power to contend. You can definitely initiate grappling and win, and you can counter any grappling because Pedro is a phenomenal BJJ player. So he's also, the one thing about Pedro that's bad is his reach is pretty minimal, but Jan is not the biggest or longest guy in the division, so that is also kind of mitigated. So I kind of like it as a counter pick. Fails on the double leg though and gets immediately tripped. So this is also a 5-round fight right here, guys. BlakeTylerr with the Jan pick, #2 ranked previously, taking on Slick right now, who picked up Pedro.
Wow. Yeah, back to the feet there. I'm surprised he got the takedown, but then back to the feet. Yeah, let's see what happens here, Bruce.
Yeah, so we got BlakeTylerr. You know, he has that perk where if he has more health than his opponent, it's gonna snowball. So, you know, Slick's gotta, I don't know, I like to, you know, throw some punches early and see if I get a little lead and mitigate that perk, if you know what I'm saying, Boxer. But we'll see if BlakeTylerr can do that, or if Slick can do that.
Nice job. I mean, right now I'm seeing Slick really trying to time his single shots. The uppercut and the straight right to interrupt. Slick coming forward. Nice pivot. Doesn't get it, but working on that. And that teep's going to take away some of that long-term health damage. Nice job turning into the turning sidekick as well. And Slick probably trying to still set up that takedown when he can here as well. Big right hook, though. There's the pull counter, though. Overcommitted. Nice job ducking under and staying in the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, nice pull counter there by BlakeTylerr, and even when he was up against the cage, just showing just how skilled he is and why he's in this main event right now. With this Jan pickup, a very balanced fighter here, and I see Blake taking his time, and like you said, Bruce, keeping that stamina advantage because he has that force of nature perk, and yeah, he's going to take less damage, and this is what you want to do. You want to try to get this fight to the ground with that Munoz pickup, but not quite able to do that, Bailey.
Yeah, he's
yeah, Blake.
Go on. No, go.
Sorry. Our rotation got messed up.
I know.
Man.
Just go. All right.
Yeah. So basically, he has his back right here, and you know that takedown denial earlier was great, and there's a slam. That's all he could pretty much do there from BlakeTylerr, and now Slick. In a dominant position, Bailey, and yeah, take it away.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now, but one thing I think Slick is struggling with is the low footwork stat on Pedro right here, especially with Blake's Predator. Whenever Blake's coming forward, it's really, really tough for him to land his strikes, to time his strikes in, because he's just moving so much slower than Blake is. So closing distance, getting himself into range to land his punches is a little difficult, which is why he's having to nail him coming in like he did with that lovely straight right there. But especially with the southpaw stance that Blake's taken, he's being a lot more evasive, being a lot easier of him to hit and run on the outside, just snipe him, and he's doing a really nice job of doing that right now.
Yeah, and I can't believe just how that stamina just melted away there with Munoz pickup. I mean, I want to see how that's going to play out here in round 2. But yeah, right now it's looking like BlakeTylerr is in control of this fight.
BlakeTylerr.
So did yours
go ahead.
Just pause, or are you still watching the fight?
No.
Okay, right, guys.
We're good.
Carry on talking.
Yeah, so here's the clinch attempt, Blake trying to work that takedown, and with that health advantage, man, these shots, I feel like force of nature is one of the best perks in the game with Peter Yan. I mean, you take less damage and you dish out. I mean, it's just incredible, and just these big shots raining in, eating away at that block.
Yeah,
and you see this. Yeah, go ahead.
What's happening tonight? All right, we're fine. We're good. All right. Like you said, yeah, definitely the clinch attempts is something else. He's going to have to blend into the strike and goes to the guillotine. And what I like that he's doing is giving him lots of different looks, Boxer.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm seeing that southpaw stance right there by Peter Yan. And you can do that because he has a 95 switch stance there. And he's utilizing that. He can give you all kind of looks there from the champion.
Dang, Peter Yan has a 95 switch stance, so you can't really attack his legs early because he'll just switch on you. You'll burn out your stamina. Wow, Peter Yan's a solid pick here, and BlakeTylerr is utilizing him fantastically.
Yeah, Peter Yan is very, very good in this bantamweight division, and I do like Munoz as a counter pick, but that southpaw adoption, not that it makes a whole lot of difference, but definitely with someone as skilled as Blake, at least I find it easier. And in real life, it is easier to play a bit more of an evasive sniper-like style with him, and that's exactly what he's doing. Teep kicks, using that lead hand to keep him at bay, pushing up the middle, roundhouse chopping. So Blake's just doing a beautiful, beautiful job just playing a real kickboxing sniper style. And again, that footwork stat really, really playing in to help him here. So Slick gets back on the clinch, back into that dominant single under. Nice work, gets the takedown and straight on top. This is much better for Slick. And he has got 2 minutes to work, and it is a 5-round fight as well.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to ask you guys. When you find yourself down in the stamina advantage, like how do you what's the best approach here right now to take if you're Slick and you need to make up some of that life lead here to get yourself back into this fight?
Yeah, it's a big mountain that he has to climb, and it's going to be real hard because Blake is just fighting so well, so defensively. Has that force of nature perk enacting, and he just looks real good. I mean, he just, look at that, just standing on the outside, just throwing great shots, 3-punch combinations. Look at the block on Slick right now. I mean, he does have him in the clinch, but tough road ahead of Mr. Slick.
I think clinch attempts are going to help, and also catching the kicks and getting the trips. If he can catch those teeps, not only will he stop that long-term damage, but he'll take some long-term stamina health off of the yarn pick right there. Blake will lose a little chunk of that long-term stamina every time he gets tripped off a kick. So maybe try and time some of them, but it's going to be real tough. I mean, this is beautiful head kick. Oh, what a left hand as well.
Kick by Tyler Blake, man. Wow. I mean, very impressive performance. When you lose that much stamina this early, it's looking like a quick night ahead for you. But it's a reason why Slick is in the fight, the main event. I want to see how he deals with adversity and kind of turns the tide if he can against a strong Tyler Blake.
Yes, sir, because Blake is looking phenomenal. Stamina advantage, health advantage. Oh, but there's Slick. Nice head kick, followed up with a rear uppercut. Now put on the pressure now. He can let it all hang out in this 3rd round if he wants to. It might be a smart move.
He does have really good recovery on Munoz, so the head health isn't too much of an issue. It really will be that stamina, but Blake immediately just initiating some grappling of his own, happy to take the fight to the cage, just keep him working here. And Blake's just real good, man. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He really doesn't. Look at that beautiful 3-piece and just slides out. And this is exactly this is what you can do against Munoz. You just have the footwork advantage, guys. And out of all the stats, don't get me wrong. Jesus, beautiful.
Changing level.
I've been playing a lot of different modes on this game, but I've played. Oh, Jesus. I can't even finish this sentence. Maybe I'll save it for afterwards. But there we go. Let's just keep commentating that fight for now. There's a beautiful left hand one more time by Blakey. But Slick has no choice. He's just trying to close the distance. He's just not able to. It's just, he just doesn't have the tools.
Yeah, I mean, I know that this is a good counter pickup, but the champion going, especially right now in the ESFL, I don't know if this was a right pickup. Huge left hand there.
Bang, bang, bang.
Wow. Tyler Blake ending it early. Just a little bit too much with Peter Yan versus Munoz, I feel, with the champion just being so balanced and having so much punch speed, so much power. Just the right perks there, all tied together with Blake. It just was too much to overcome just initially. That's what I saw, Bailey, and just initially when the fight started, somehow the stamina just got melted away, and it was just downhill from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean is called a
and like the way he was like a smooth criminal out there. I mean, the way, like Bailey said earlier, the way he would like throw a combo and then slide out of the way for the return shot, then slide back in and then pounce with another power combo. I mean, man, BlakeTylerr looked like a killer, phenomenal performance, one of the most dominant performances I've seen in a champion, or excuse me, a 5-round main event fight. I mean, that was just incredible, Bailey. And just what a performance.
He made him fight to his own rhythm, and then he just did not let him interrupt that in any way. I mean, it's a good counter pick if you can get the takedown. But, you know, what I was trying to say is I've played obviously a lot of different game modes, but I have played a lot of career mode, probably more than most, just because I do a bunch of series on YouTube, and you get to kind of feel, you know, every career mode you do, you kind of max different stats, and you get to feel what stats really play a difference in the fight. And one of the stats I'd say is really, really noticeably different in terms of making your job easier on the feet is that footwork stat. And we see it all the time and saw it completely tonight. If you have a big footwork advantage, it is so easy in some ways, especially when you get the stamina advantage, to really control your opponent, really just limit the amount of times they can touch you, the amount of ways they can get to you. And, you know, you force them to make different entries. You force them to step in with lead hooks to cover distance. You force them to initiate grappling exchanges. You force them to do things like throw leg kicks from the outside, because they can't just step in and out as easy as you can. And that's why Volkanovski is such a good pick, and we see him do so well, because he has incredibly high footwork. And we saw it in that fight right there. You know, that's why Blake was able to just completely dictate the pace of that fight. He had a huge footwork advantage, and he just used it beautifully, and he just stayed on the outside, just floated, and, you know, he couldn't get anywhere near him because of that.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what's happened next for BlakeTylerr. You know, because this was a title eliminator, so we know we're going to see him in a title fight, most likely coming up. So I can't wait to see what he does with his Jan pick going forward. And if you're Slick, then I know you're going to pick up the pieces and come back, look at what you did wrong. I would have liked to seen that fight maybe against one of the more stronger, like TJ Dillashaw or Cejudo, and see how that runs back. But, you know, tonight was the night of Tyler Blake, and great job by both of those opponents.
Yeah, and what a treat we got to come back again with a new season of the ESFL. I mean, what's more exciting than that? Great to have you, Boxer, and great to be here, Bailey.
Yeah.
And we got the fights today, Usman versus Burns. I mean, what's better than that? What a great day for the UFC community.
For sure. All right, well, that is it. The first card of the new season is in the books. ESFL 101 is done. We had some great matchups tonight. This VOD will be available here on the Twitch channel if you missed any of it, and it will go up live on the YouTube channel as well, which you should subscribe to if you are or not, because you can watch all of last season as well. Don't forget, tomorrow night is ESFL 102. The PlayStation side of things will be coming on. There's a whole bunch of things to look forward to. We've got some new commentators in the booth tomorrow. I believe Prioxis is taken to the booth, as well as Marshall Mind will be there tomorrow as well. So do stick around for that one. All right, guys, we will see you here back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. CT, slightly later start time. So if you're in the EU, I'm sorry, you know, never mind. Maybe watch the VOD of it, but do go catch it, enjoy it. Tomorrow night, it will be a banger. Enjoy the fights tonight, and we will see you on Wednesday, because we are now doing, let me just say this, a new schedule for the ESFL. We have Wednesday affiliate leagues. Friday night, we have our Muay Thai event. And then we have a Saturday and Sunday back-to-back ESFL double header for you. Can it get better than that? Back with 4 cards a week this season. Enjoy it. We will see you tomorrow night for 102. Take care, guys.
Take care.